Hello there, welcome back to the Random Show, episode number 103 with your host, Agostino Zinga. This is the Random Show, episode number 103 with your host, Agostino Zinga. I hope this stream is finding you well, wherever you may be today. I hope the stream is finding you well, wherever you may be today. I really do hope so. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me. Haven't prepared much of an intro, as you can tell, so I'm repeating myself and stalling for the intro of the show. But thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate you. There's a decent amount of people now tuning into the show via the audio platform, via the podcasting side of things. I basically just pull the audio from the stream and upload it onto different, regular podcasting platforms, like the usual ones that you know and love, like Apple and Spotify and stuff. So big up all you guys and gals who are tuning in and hearing my voice through whatever listening device you're using now via the audio side of things. I really do appreciate you and thank you for checking me out. If you could do me a small favor, if you're listening to it via the audio side of the platform and you're enjoying the show, why not leave me a quick 5-star review? That would be really helpful and let people know that you're tuning in, and it is a sizable amount of you who are out there doing what you should be doing. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, apart from that, you know the deal. Standard Random Show settings. We're going to go through random bits of information and news and whatnot regarding culture that I've kind of seen and I'm interested in, and then we're going to comment on it, laugh at it and whatnot, point, have a good time, and then go on our merry way. Today, as usual, one of my free drinks is either booze, green juice, or of course a dark nectar, as Bryan will sometimes say, Brendan will sometimes say, cold brew coffee with ice in it. Loving it today. So that's what I'm sipping on today, a nice cold brew. Let me take a little quick sip. Feeling good, flipping good. So big up that one. What are people saying here in the chat? What are people saying here in the chat? Big up the chat also. Appreciate all you guys hanging in there with me. You always tune in and you're always here with the boys. So yeah, big up Matt Riz. Big up Eric C. We'll ignore his question there. Big up Jordan Ray. Wade Harris. What's up, AZ? How's the New Year's Eve resolutions going? Pretty well, to be fair. Let me actually go back to my list of stuff, because I have it pinned on my thing. So at the moment, what are they saying? 100 books, going pretty well. I think I'm probably on pace to probably hit 70. I'm probably not going to hit 100, but 70 is a pretty decent amount. At the moment, I'm trying to basically tear for about 4 or sometimes 3 a month, and I'm reading for about an hour to 2 hours per day, which is not too bad. I need to get it up higher though, so that's probably not going as good as it should be, but I think I should hit about 70 by the end of the year. If I hit under 70, I will be a bit annoyed. 50,000 subs on YouTube. I am nowhere close to getting that, but again, that was a stretch goal. I think I'm currently, how many subs on this channel do I currently have? Again, it doesn't really matter on YouTube subs anyway, but I just wanted something to kind of aim for. Usually people care about views and whatnot and watch time, but subs aren't really as important as they once were back in the day. It's kind of just like a vanity thing, innit, to kind of feel good about yourself and go from one number to a small number to a higher number is always a nice thing. But it doesn't actually mean a lot, do you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. There are channels out there, I'm sure you guys have seen it, with like 500,000 subs and they get like 2K views on their videos. You really have to kind of, figure stuff out on YouTube. But at the moment, I'm on 18,325, so it's quite a bit off, and I'm already in 4 months into the year. Not looking the greatest for 50,000, but we still move, we still try and push. That's the main thing about these goals. Run a minimum of 20 miles per week. Nowhere close to that. I've gone out running maybe once per week, and I've gone to the gym instead, so I need to jump on that. That's definitely something I'm not done. Maintain a weight of 200 pounds all year. I need to reach 200 pounds first. I'm currently probably about 240. I think the last time that I weighed myself, so I still got 40 pounds left to lose, and then hopefully by the end of the year, so when it hits like June time, that's when I'll start holding it for 6 months, because I've been that weight before, 200 pounds, but I've never really held it for a long time. 1 hour of language learning per day, I've not done 0 of that. Write and publish 1 blog per day, I've not done 0 of that either. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm probably hitting 3 out of the 6. And those 3 I'm still probably doing only at like 50 to 60%. So still got a way to go. But if anything, my New Year's resolutions was less as a kind of guide how to live every day, and more so as guardrails. as things that I should kind of be keeping in mind. So that's what I'm kind of doing and using it for, which is why I pinned it on my Twitter to kind of have there as a constant reminder as to what I should be doing. But yeah, that's how I'm getting on at the moment with my New Year's resolutions. It's funny though, because in my gyms, I think most people are the same. I saw people leaving, like, I think in previous years, you see people like, disappearing for the gyms, maybe around, what would you say? Maybe around like, the end of January sometimes, or middle. But this time I saw people leaving within like the first couple of weeks, if that. Sometimes like within the first 7 days of the new year, they were gone. And I think nowadays it's less to do with laziness and more so people just realizing. I think, I keep mentioning all the time, it's a bit boring to say this, but I think in a post-pandemic world, I think people just figured out what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And sometimes people have this idea, oh, I want to go to the gym, I want to do this, I want to do that. Then you go there, you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, I don't care. And then you just leave. So those guys and girls have left in their droves. So for the most part, my gym is really, really empty. Most of the time it's never really full. And if any time it is full, it's usually like at those peak times, just before, that kind of those few hours just before 9 a.m. when people are trying to get their workouts in before work, or that kind of window after work from like maybe 5 p.m. to like 8 when people want to get a quick workout in and go back home. So I gotta find exactly. Yep. See, Natasha Ski, you know it, you got it. Natasha's got it. That's why I realized too. Natasha says gyms suck. You gotta find something that you actually enjoy to do. And stick to it. Exactly. And I think one guy actually, I forgot his name, but there's this really famous bodybuilder guy called Simeon Panda. He's from the UK actually. I think he lives in America now. But he was doing this vlog with this other guy, and I saw a clip online. I don't know why I saw it, just randomly a clip. And the guy mentioned something like that. I think he's a personal trainer, and he's basically saying that he tells his clients all the time, don't like get what's that thing called? Don't get intimidated or feel like you're not doing enough because you see me in a gym. You got to find whatever works for you in terms of like, that will get you out and about, get you active, get your heart rate up, and just stick with that and let me know. So as he basically saying, as a personal trainer, he prefers his clients to let him know the stuff that they enjoy doing, and then he works around that instead of getting them in and starting, and making them do flipping heavy back squats and shit, when maybe they enjoy playing tennis, or maybe they enjoy playing badminton, or maybe they enjoy going for walks, whatever it may be doing. He just kind of, adjusts his recommendations on workout plans around what they like to do. And I think people are like that now. I think there's a huge amount of people who are, which I think is good, who are kind of happy to kind of stand on their shit and say, you know what, I don't care about a gym. I don't want to be working out in the gym. And they just said, fuck this. And they're over it. And there's a huge amount of people also who have discovered things that they enjoy doing instead of being in a flipping gym, and they just do that, and they don't feel, flipping less adequate, or like they don't match up with other people that go to gyms. Because as much as I like going to the gym, I like, running and stuff, I have to admit, like, it does require you to actually kind of enjoy it. As much as I say I don't like it, the fact that I get up out of my house, I wake up at a certain time to go, I make sure I have my kit always clean. I'm paying the subscription every month. I'm not like, letting it bounce. All those type of things are usually indicators that you like to go. So that really is a huge driving force to kind of let you go and to kind of make it consistent. So if you don't really have that bug, it's better to find something else. If you can't find something else, just live your life, innit? It's not that big of a deal, really. Life is short. You know what I mean? Some people just don't give a fuck about that stuff, but unfortunately I do. It's one of those things, isn't it? Unfortunately I do. But yeah, big up the stream chat for hanging in there with me. Anyway, let's move on. So many things to talk about. Let's jump straight into the the news of the day that I think it's interesting to talk about, because it kind of concerns my area where I'm doing right now in terms of streaming. So this is the number one topic I want to talk about from the flipping screen grab. It's this regarding CENAT, the Twitch streamer who's been banned, right? Which is quite weird, because it felt like just the other day he was celebrating becoming one of the most subscribed people over there on Twitch, and everyone was kind of, basically in awe of what he was doing. He had a Twitch subathon and whatnot, and just doing loads of great, amazing content, really creative. He'd have these like live streams where he'd have interviews with people, he'd do game shows, challenges, dances, loads of crazy fun stuff that, young kids like nowadays. But just in general, I thought he kind of did the whole flipping Twitch live stream thing quite in an interesting way, especially the just chatting side of things, like what I'm doing. Instead of reading news articles like I do, he sits there and essentially kind of creates this show live on air. Do you know what I mean? Where people can kind of tune into, and I think that's kind of cool, and whatever, entertaining. But it looks like he's been banned by Twitch, and it's now another indication in some degree that, you know, these platforms, they don't really care too tough about the creators. They kind of don't really get attached to any, and I think for the most part they realize that it's a revolving door, so they don't really care because they know there's always another one. Like, you know, for a short while, I'm thinking a lot of you guys, even on the stream, myself included, I never knew this guy existed, maybe 3 years ago. And then suddenly he pops up on the flipping scene, he becomes super big, he gets really popular, and then bang, he's one of the biggest guys on the platform. I think Twitch realized that there's loads of these Kai guys around the country or around the world doing their thing, bubbling up. So there's no real need to get attached or to make special, or to give special privileges to some of them. There's no real need to. They can just kind of do what they want. The only thing that I think is kind of odd about this sometimes, so they banned this, the biggest Twitch streamer on there for essentially maybe taking part in a lewd sex act or something, or he maybe said something untoward. We don't really know the reason. The only thing I'm a bit dubious about when it comes to Twitch is that they seem to be very quick to ban certain people for some things, but then on their platform they have other things that they probably should be banning, like nudity and whatnot, and they don't necessarily ban those people with as much in the same level of consistency as these other guys do, who may say something risque, they may do something a bit weird. But these other streamers, like those, what they call hot tub streamers, and there's a new type of streamer on Twitch now, these model girls who basically paint themselves. If I'm not mistaken, they kind of paint themselves, like they paint like they're wearing a bikini, but it's just paint. So essentially they're naked, and they stream on there and do what they're doing, running it up, which is good. Salute to them. But they never get banned. So I'm curious as to why that seems to happen. Why they seem to have a different rule. There's rumors around there, that the people in the Twitch flipping head office have relationships with some of these girls, allegedly. There's loads of things going on there that kind of can add to it, but I'm not really too sure what the real story is. But either way, it's just an interesting thing to kind of see from afar. Anyway, this is the article courtesy of courtesy of BBC. It says Amazon-owned video streaming platform Twitch has banned the most popular live streamers. One of his popular streamers, CENAT, holds a record for having the most subscription on his channel, with more than 300,000 at his peak. Now, a message that appears when visiting his channel says it's temporarily unavailable due to violations of Twitch terms of services, and he has tweeted, "Banned." Twitch streamers typically play video games while chatting to their viewers. CENAT became one of the biggest names in streaming when he broke the subscription record previously held by Ludwig and Ninja. Twitch users can now follow their favorite streamers and creators for free and support them by subscribing or gifting subscriptions. The basic subscription package costs $3.99, which is $4.99 US. What's that? How do you say this guy's name? Jinzy, or Jin XZ 21, now has the most subscribers at 75,000, up from 10,000 in September, and more than 1 million followers, up from 300,000. Best known for playing online shooter Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, not Rainbow Savage. Jesus Christ. Jinzy was live streaming when he found out that he had taken the #1 spot, and celebrated in a tweet when commenters called him the new king of Twitch. Twitch has been approached to comment. So now there's some white kid now who's now obviously the top guy there. There's a conspiracy about that. They want the whites to take over. I don't really think it's a black and white thing. I just think Twitch are just, there's an interesting way how they run their company. They don't seem to really give a fuck about individual creators, and they just want to, make it a revolving door. And if you kind of fall out of line or they don't like what you do, you kind of get out. There's rumors now that people are saying that maybe CENAT might have been banned because he essentially was maybe taking the piss out of Twitch because they sent him those horrible custom Air Force One. I think they were highs with the strap, the purple ones that are custom for becoming the most Twitch, sub Twitch streamer. And then Kick, in an effort to kind of lure him on their platform, sent him these crazy custom, off-white Air Force Ones that are absolutely amazing and really expensive. And clearly Kick, sent them the better gifts. So maybe they're saying because he was flexing those pairs of shoes on his stream, that Twitch may have saw that video and said, you know what, send him to ban world. I'm not too sure what the case is, but I do think it's an interesting approach that they're having. But then the other side of it that I think is equally interesting is the somewhat overblown ego I feel like some of these streamers have. Because I feel like a lot of these guys, especially guys like Kai, guys like Aiden Ross, and a few other people out there, I feel like a lot of them are very popular because they happen to be guys that kind of connect with kids. So they seem to have a lot of kind of really young fans. But it's also something that you would imagine is something that's quite it's a pretty much a temporary thing. When you have a really young fan base and they're really big fans of you, you can't really be sitting there thinking that's going to last forever. Most likely you're going to peter out over time, and you'll still become you'll still be a fairly decent streamer level wise, but you're not always going to have this rabid young fan base. So I don't understand why some of these streamers have the kind of ego where they think whatever level of fandom they have now is the fandom they're going to have forever. That means that they can command a certain amount of money or a certain amount of attention or a certain amount of privileges. I think if anything, they should be getting the most of what they can out of it right now, for sure. If you're Kai, you should be trying to get Twitch to sit down with you to get a deal done. But if they don't respect you, they don't want to sit down with you and get the deal done, then you have to go somewhere where you're going to get that money. And whatever the deal may be, you kind of have to just make sure you get whatever you can as soon as you can, while you can, because there's no guarantee this is going to last. Especially the kind of attention that they have, because they're in the millions. I saw a report recently. I think AKADEMIKS said it actually. DJ AKADEMIKS said that his CENAT guy, the rumors on the flipping East Stream streets is that he was offered $50 million for 1 year of streaming from Kick. $50 million for 1 year. So if you're this guy, you should take it. Definitely you should take it, because there's no guarantee you're going to be the hottest kid on the block next year or the following year. But some of them have weird egos, and they speak like this. And they speak about stuff like this, right? Where this is an issue. So this is taken from Daily Loud, and it says here, I think they still got information from DJ AKADEMIKS because he's the one that put it out there. But it says that Twitch allegedly made 10 to 50 million when Kai CENAT live streamed every day in the month of February. That was when he was doing the subathon to obviously get the most subs, while he only made 2 million. I don't understand why this is an issue. Like, Twitch provides a platform, the infrastructure, everything that you need, that you can just, all you need to do is basically buy the equipment to stream on their servers, basically. And I don't understand what these guys think they should be getting. Like, if the host maybe should be getting the most money, right? The platforms, the YouTubes, the Twitch, they should be getting the large chunk for providing people like myself these free platforms where you can make content and share it to the world. Why do these streamers somehow think that they should be getting more than the cut that they're getting? Maybe the percentages aren't great. Maybe it should be more than 70-30. Maybe it should be 60-40. I'm not too sure. But it always should be heavily kind of siding with the platform that's providing all the tech, all the infrastructure for you to stream on, in my personal opinion. But for some reason, there's this feeling in the air I hear with these streamers where a lot of them are kind of in this, which maybe is a good thing, they're in this sort of like mode where they feel like their value far exceeds their platform, far exceeds the platform they're on. They're basically in this idea that they feel as if like the majority of people who come and watch stuff on Twitch are only there for them, which I don't think is true. I think Twitch, for the most part, especially here in Europe, like there's massive, French, Italian, Spanish, flipping streamers that none of you guys have heard of because they speak another language and they're from another place, and they do crazy amount of views and have crazy amount of subs also, and they obviously contribute to the views and attention people get on that platform. So I don't know if this is an American thing, if this is just their confidence, I'm not really too sure, but I just found that strange. And then to kind of carry on from that, there's this quick clip taken from Aiden Updates that features Aiden Ross jumping on a phone call with Kai when he found out, that bit of news that I just mentioned you right now, and he's kind of teasing him. But just listen to how Kai is talking about streaming and about his value and whatnot. I don't know, I just get the sense that these guys have a very overinflated sense of self, and I just don't think they're as special as they think they are. I think the market proves that. Like I said, I didn't know who Aiden Ross was a couple of years ago. Maybe some of you guys did, but he burst onto the scene. So I'm pretty sure if he's here doing what he's doing, he's probably inspired another kid who's doing the same thing, who's 17 now, and most likely he'll end up being the next Aiden Ross within the next couple of years also. So I think these platforms know that there's more content creators out there that are willing to kind of put their, put all the hard work in and the hours in to kind of be the next big guy. So this idea that these guys are meant to be commanding crazy amounts of money all the time is really odd. I think they should get the money that they can now, but they shouldn't think it's going to last forever. That's my only kind of, word of caution there. But let's play the clip anyway.
Anyways, how is it being banned?
It's great, man. I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Just,
Let me up the volume a little bit.
Hanging up phone calls and shit,
I know, bro. Listen, man, I just want to say, I know I saw that little thing that went out today, they said that they made 20 mil off you and you got 2. I just want to know you're worth a lot more than that. And there's a platform called Kick. And they'll never ban you. They'll never get banned. And Twitch did its thing. It gave you a platform, and you grew on it, and you became who you are today because of Twitch. But it's time for better things, to move on, because it's a toxic relationship. They're the type to spit in your mouth and beat you and do all these things and ban you and kick you out. But Kick is a happy, healthy relationship home, and it's time you really break up and come.
Listen to me. There is no platform that I care about, bro.
What?
Let that sink in real quick, bro. No platform can make me do anything. We are all bigger than every platform.
Anyway, I'll stop it there. It says, no platform can make me do anything. We are all bigger than any platform. And I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe time will tell and they will prove it that they are. But I just think it's kind of foolhardy. I think they should be trying to get as much money as they can from these platforms, fleece them for what they can. If Kick are offering that Kai kid 50 million for 1 year, as DJ Academic said, he should snap their hands off and take that money and run and put that money in the bank, invest it somewhere, but because that's generational money that can really, really change, the fortunes of your entire family and maybe a couple of generations to come. Do that. But this idea that, they are somehow worthy of like the whole amount from streaming online is a bit nuts, unless what they're saying is that we're going to be seeing this shift with these big streamer guys where they all start setting up their own streaming platforms, which is be a bit weird, isn't it? Imagine we get to that place. We get to a place where the biggest streamers have their own websites or their own apps where you can just watch what they do. So essentially it turns into another streaming platform service. So you've got flipping Netflix, you've got flipping, Hulu, or whatever, you got HBO, and then you have like whatever, Aiden stream, Kai stream. You have these separate apps that you kind of log into and check what they're doing. And all the revenue comes only to them, and they kind of host it. They have their own servers, all that sort of stuff. That might be what we're seeing now with these guys, because it looks like they're all holding out for, it looks like they're either holding out for more money, or they think they should be getting a bigger slice of the ownership pie, or just owning a platform overall, which is a very interesting place that they're kind of going with it. I just think, considering the amount of kids out there who are doing it for free, who are going to take over, it's a bit of a risky move. That's all I'm saying. It's a bit of a risky move, because I think, all the advertising dollars would probably get, pushed over to the new kids who've got a new fresh audience that haven't been maybe, creamed and whatever it may be. Cream probably not the right term to use, but I don't know. It's something on that kind of, I still have to sort out my fucking thoughts of it, but I'm getting the feeling that we're kind of moving in that direction. We're kind of getting in that direction. I kind of feel like it. What are you guys saying in the chat? Gambling, Charles Luter, I'm just saying basically free gambling companies are bribing streamers with millions of dollars to get their young audience into online gambling. Yeah, the gambling side of things on those streams is pretty wild, man. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty wild, and it's kind of upsetting to watch also, like, to see all these kids have this sort of issue, because from the area that I'm in London, like one of our main issues is basically these flipping gambling shops and shit. And especially in the rundown areas, there's not really much for people to do. And in the area that I kind of grew up in, most of our shops, the whole high street was just full of chicken shops or betting shops. So a lot of people would, try to kind of, drown their sorrows or whatever it may be called in flipping chicken shops, eating flipping horrible, fast food, for like, 12 wings for £2 with fries and a drink. And then you kind of take a fiver out your flipping wallet and go to your local flipping Betfred or whatever maybe and put a bet on the horses, hoping to make some money to take you out of this flipping horrible, flipping community or neighborhood you're in. And you kind of, end up in a vicious cycle, man. It really, really, really is sad. I'm not going to lie. I'm going back, and seeing those kind of areas. You just see chicken shop and betting shop after chicken shop after betting shop after chicken shop. And it's just like, God damn it. And to see that same thing happening on, back then it was like betting shops. Nowadays it must be so much worse, especially with these like online betting companies and stuff, and then pushing them on stream and whatnot. I can't imagine, man. That's another thing that I'm thankful that I didn't get the bug for, because I got a lot of friends who, do blackjack, who do fruit machines and stuff, and they get addicted to that stuff. They lose a lot of money. And it's just, it ruins relationships, it ruins friendships and stuff. I'm really lucky that was never really a bug that I kind of was able to kind of get. Maybe because I'm just too pussy to kind of put money on the line, to be completely honest. I'm a little bit frugal in that way, but just in general, it never really was something that appealed to me. And I just thank, whoever's above and around that wasn't my destiny, because I don't know where I'd be right now, mate. I don't know where I'd be. Moving on from that one, and on the subject of gambling, actually, have you guys seen this picture of Drake that he uploaded on his Instagram stories? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Right? Like a pretty interesting picture that you'd upload, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. Obviously for the homo side of things, right? The guy is a flipping stud. Big up Drake, right? Marry me. But more so because he's so unapologetically light skinned that it kind of just warms your heart how unapologetically light skinned he is. Like no other human being on the face of this earth would do this. None would be in their hotel room jumping out the shower, and because you have to ask yourself many questions with this picture. Who took the picture? Was this a screen grab from a video? Was the person that took the picture a man? Was it a woman? If it's a woman, was it a friend? Was it a sexual interest? Did he just get finished doing the adult's business and then he flipping, decided to kind of strut and feeling good about himself? Who knows? We don't really know. But I just like the confidence that he has to upload stuff like this. I honestly do. It kind of warms my heart, because it means that he is unapologetically himself every single day of the week. He does not care what you think, what you have to say. He lives his life, and especially in a very hyper masculine genre like hip hop, to be like this, I think, is one of the reasons why Drake always wins. Because I think, even for myself, being a big Drake fan, part of the reason why he was so interesting to follow and listen to was because of the vulnerability, the openness, the willingness to kind of rap about, the flipping bad side and the good side of relationships and friendships and struggle and hustling and trying to achieve your dreams and family and all that malarkey. That's what actually made him special. So when he acts this way, it kind of is a reminder why he's as big of a star as he is. Because I don't think there's any other hip hop artist in the history of the world who, if they were on the same level of fame as Drake was, would take this picture and upload it onto Instagram. No way. And this wasn't a candid shot. This is a shot he uploaded on his own IG, his own Instagram stories. He put it up on there, which is, in my opinion, a supreme level of confidence. Now, there's some people out there who have been speculating about his lipo and body sculpting and stuff. I don't really give a fuck about that. Maybe he did get it done. Maybe he didn't get it done. The thing that's always really interested me, and maybe I think some people maybe have the same thoughts, because again, I don't have any on me at the moment, and I probably want to get some. I'm one of those weird guys. The first thing that I want to get is a fucking face tattoo. I want to do a crystalia and get a neck tattoo as my first thing, right? But the thing that's always interested me about Drake is, why are his tattoos so terrible? He has more money than anyone out there. He can get the best artists to come out and, basically put whatever he wants on his body. He's also has a benefit of being mixed race. So the tattoos, especially black and white tattoos, will pop a little bit better on his skin. Why doesn't he go? Why doesn't he go and actually get some really great work done? Like proper sick detailed work. Like all of these kind of like, I don't know, these random images and stuff all over him. They're very hipster kind of stuff. Like a lot of my friends have these sort of tattoos where it's just like random stuff they're into, just plastered all over their body. But some of the artwork isn't even that great. That's the only thing that I'm really curious about. Like, why does he have that? What is that? Yeah, exactly. It's all a bit random, as 7. That's the only thing I'm curious about. I think the picture's sick. It's hard. It's awesome. You see a bit of dick root going on there. You see that he might have a little bit of a batty there, right? It's a bit flat, but you know, there's a little bit of roundness there, so let him live his life. But just the tattoos kind of disturbed me a little bit. Like, why doesn't he have better tattoos with all the money he has? Or maybe that's a taste he has. Maybe he actually has this type of taste. This is the aesthetic he's kind of going for. This kind of like, you know, heroin chic, dusty kind of like, you know, trailer park tattoo type style. Maybe that's his vibe. But I don't know. I just would think the artwork would be better. That's the only thing I'd think about it. But the picture's amazing. Wondering loads of questions. You know, I'm sure there's guys out there who after they beat, they slap on flipping Sports Center straight away. Maybe, I'm not too sure if that's a thing. Is that a baby's trolley chair? I don't know. That's not upsetting. But yeah, you know, he's living his life. He's doing his thing. Big up Drake, the biggest dude. Was saying that we just said the random is fine. It's just the quality of the art is not what you expect from someone who can afford better. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Exactly. Yeah, the randomness probably isn't the problem. It's just the quality of it. Like even just from here, you can just tell from here this isn't well done. These faces on his rib cage. Like they're just not that well done, you know. They just don't look that good. You can just tell. Just look from here, and that's the only issue that I have with it. Like, why doesn't he just get better work done? That's the only thing I want to say. Like, why isn't it better? Like, you have more money than God. Like, go out there and get the best people to come and, you know, ink you up, brother. But yeah, maybe that's his 5. Maybe that's his 5. Who knows? Bad resolution. Yeah. We always blame the computers, always blame the screens and the computers. It's never you. He got that high street tattoo hookup. Yeah, exactly. He's got that, you know, he's got that mall. You know, there's I'm sure you guys have it in the US where you have those flipping shopping malls where they have tattoo parlors in there and they're usually shaky. Super shaky. He probably got them over there as well. But anyway, moving on from that one. Theory time. Agostino Zinga on the random show Theory Time. Are you guys ready? Yeah? LA comedy scene Theory Time. I have a theory and I want to float it to you guys and see what you think, because I saw the title of a new Two Ladies to Try video about BERT Kreischer's laugh, if it's real or not, and I have an alternative theory out there that I want to put out, right, to you guys, and hope you kind of follow me here. So, on the screen, as you can see, there's a recent episode of Something's Burning. BERT Kreischer's cooking show that he does. That's, you know, that can make you maybe vomit in your own mouth because, you know, he doesn't wash his hands. He's very chaotic and frantic and anxious and just, you know, looks like he smells like a, you know, he smells like a bar probably. He probably is the kind of guy that, you know, picks the lint out from between his flipping butt crack and whatnot. Not the cleanest guy in the world. And not somebody that you want to maybe share. You know, some people you don't mind giving a bite of your burger. You wouldn't want to give him a bite of your burger. You'd cut a bit off and give it to him, but you wouldn't let him bite your burger, if you get what I mean. He's not that kind of guy. Anyway, he does this show called Something's Burning, which is decent enough to watch as a comedy thing. But you know, if you like eating food, probably shouldn't watch it. But this episode is really good, where he sits down with Big Cat from flipping what's it called, from Barstool Sports and PFT, whatever it may be. And they speak about BERT Kreischer's laugh. And BERT Kreischer basically tells them about his laugh, right? And gives a little bit of background information behind it. And I think his answer is very telling. And then on the other side, I'm going to tell you my theory as to why I don't think BERT Kreischer's laugh is fake. And I'm also going to tell you my theory as to why I think BERT Kreischer doesn't mind being this adult frat boy thing. This adult frat boy persona he has. I'm going to tell you my theory why he does that. And at the moment, it's not even adult frat boy, because we found out via the last stream that BERT Kreischer is actually 50 years old. So he's more like a granddad frat boy persona. But I'm going to tell you my theory as to why those two things after I play this clip. Listen to me, right? This is my theory. BERT Kreischer here admitted when he was growing up, he got bullied for his laugh, essentially. He got teased, he got mocked for his that fucking laugh that he does, right? He starts speaking through his screams. He got bullied and mocked for it, which is pretty good. I think it's makes a lot of sense. I think the bullies probably did a bad job. They should have bullied him harder, but it is what it is. We are where we are. He got bullied hard for that in high school. If you listen to his story, you would know that BERT Kreischer spent 6 years, more in the high school or college than he probably should have. He was in there until he's maybe in his mid-20s or something, right? Something quite wild like that. So he was suffering a lot, being mocked and teased, right? About flipping all this stuff that he was getting abused about. My theory is that Bert Kreischer's laugh is real. And the reason why he turns it up so much is because now in his adult life, and he's been able to be lucky enough to kind of follow his dreams. He's achieved his dreams. He's become widely successful. Loads of fans all over the place who like him just the way he is. It's the one time in his life where he hasn't had to compromise. He hasn't had to adjust. He hasn't had to quote unquote grow up. He's allowed to be his silly, goofy self that he's always wanted to be. So it's similar to Arrested Development, but it's sort of like he got hindered from being himself for so long that now he's an adult. He kind of like is doing it overboard because he wants to make up for lost time. So my theory is that Bert Kreischer's laugh isn't fake. He's making up from lost time because when he was a kid, everyone used to bully him for his laugh. But now when he's older, he gets basically paid a fortune to laugh the way that he does. And then at the end of it, he mentioned here he was on a show and the director heard his laugh for the first time and said, hey, you need to keep laughing like that because this is good for TV. And you got offered money to keep laughing like that. That early sort of flipping association with his laugh when he was first coming up in comedy, A, people liked it more. And B, when he started getting into the kind of entertainment industry, he started to get more money. So that also explains his pursuit to always find a viral moment with his laugh. Because early on, he got rewarded for his laugh with money. And now the new money, the new currency is virality because that can get you views, which equals money. That can also get you sponsorships and ads and stuff that equals money. So all of that kind of, is all encompassing in that whole shebang. So that's my theory. The laugh isn't fake. The laugh is real. It's always him. He couldn't be himself. He couldn't express himself. And now that he's made it a stand-up comedian, he's doing it and it's going crazy. He's doing it overboard. He's exaggerating. He's really performing. He's leaning into it and all this malarkey. He's turning himself red on purpose. Like he's noticing the triggers that make him do whatever he does and he's leaning into it. That's what I think is going on there with Bert Kreischer. And especially when you think about the adult frat boy mentality that he's got, persona, that also makes a lot of sense because he couldn't really be a frat boy back then because he really wasn't one, right? People kind of looked at him like a dorky kid, probably didn't feel comfortable. And now that he's grown up, he can kind of lean into it a bit more. And also he doesn't work a regular job, so he can kind of do what he wants. That's my theory. What do you guys think in the stream chat? What do you think of that really long, convoluted flipping theory? Does that make sense? Because I don't know. I'm not buying into this thing everyone's doing now. Oh, Bert Kreischer's laugh is fake. It's not fake. It's fake. It's like, look, you can find Bert Kreischer annoying, but let's not lie about the laugh. Let's not lie that his laugh is fake. And let's not also lie that he doesn't have any fans. Because that's also the other things I'm seeing. He doesn't have any fans. He's laughing. No. Bert Kreischer is one of the most successful and popular stand-ups in that little scene. He's smashing it. Like, he's killing it. Killing the game. People love this guy. Like, legitimately love him. The cues he has for his fucking meet and greets are legitimately insane. Like, this guy's popular. You may not like that he's popular, but he really is. But he's also somebody that's clearly fame. He's clearly a fame whore, in my opinion. He really is a fame, but I also think he's not unaware of it. He's very open to the idea that he is a fame whore and he leans into it. And obviously with the marketing and the social media and all that malarkey, he kind of does that also and goes overboard. And the need to be in Hollywood and act and blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. But I don't like this narrative people are throwing out there that he's, that his whole life is a lie. I don't think so. Elements of his life are, but not the whole thing. What people saying in the chat? I agree. People are saying, yeah, Uche, me and the director have beef. Lols, Teju says, I think he's faking it. Okay, cool. And Hedger says, really? Charles Lucas says, I don't get it. So, dude lacking ding. AZ90, still haven't forgotten the blackface. Fair enough. Comedy is so sad now, the bar's low. Yeah, of course. Look, Kai R80. I'm not trying to justify or or try and say his stuff is high art in any way, shape, or form. It isn't. It just is what it is. But, for some people, they find it enjoyable. I personally don't, but some people clearly do. But yeah, that's my theory as to why I think Bert Kreischer's laugh is not fake. and why he possibly does go overboard and lean into it, because he's making up for lost time. Moving on. This is pretty wild, right? Courtesy of Strapped Hip Hop News on Twitter account. This is pretty wild. It says Quavo dissing Offset's new tattoo with his caption saying, "Rocket power, it's in you, not on you." This is pretty wild because most of you will know, unfortunately, RIP to fucking Takeoff, Rocket Man. Honestly, RIP. What a tragic way for him to go out. He had nothing to do with the beef that occurred with Quavo and a few other guys, and then he got caught in a crossfire and unfortunately passed away. Like, really, really tragic news. One of the more, I think, versatile artists within Amigos, gone too soon, wasn't appreciated enough, and you know, again, like, what a crazy way to go out. And ever since then, myself included, I just assumed Quavo and flipping Offset would have reconciled, because before Takeoff passed away, they split up as a group. Quavo and Takeoff went their own direction and kept on, kept flipping, flying the banner of Migos, and Offset was basically left to do his own thing as a solo artist. And rumors at the time was that allegedly Offset may have hooked up with Sweetie, who was Quavo's girlfriend at one time, ex-girlfriend, and that's what led to the split. Because he did that behind his back and stuff, and they're meant to be brothers and family, blah blah blah. But at this point, I think there's something more to the beef, because you'd imagine if a member of your family passed away and you were beefing with somebody who was also a part of your family, there would come a point where you're like, you know what, let's just reconcile, let's just like, not war under the bridge, but let's just like try and do right by that person's memory and just kind of let bygones be bygones. Maybe you don't have to be friends again, but you're going to just be cordial in some way, shape or form, so you're not sending out subs about each other. But the fact that Quavo's posting stuff like this leads me to believe that something deeper than Offset hooking up with Sweetie must have happened. But then on the other side, I'm also thinking to myself, these are rappers. There's not really much that they kind of beef about outside of money and girls, really, right? I can't think of anything else that rappers really fall out on about. It's usually money and girls. Maybe there's a bit of like, gang politics involved also, but it's usually money and girls. So if they are still beefing to this level of money and girls, it must be a really complex and deep story. But whatever it is, it's really kind of sad to see that even though flipping Takeoff passed away, that they're not flipping reconciling. But then on the other side of things, I was thinking this. Sometimes there is this thing, it's kind of like proper to kind of forgive people and to kind of move on when somebody passes away. But what if actually Takeoff was the one that didn't like Offset anymore and was like, you know what, fuck Offset, until the day that he died, and they never reconciled? Why should you change your energy about somebody if you just don't fuck with them? Like, if somebody passes away and you don't like them, should you be saying RIP if you didn't like the person to begin with when they pass away? Maybe you shouldn't be flipping pissing on their grave, right, or dancing on it, but should you really why try and be polite? Why try and have good manners if there was no love there to begin with? Like, who cares? Like, rest in piss, as the kids say. Maybe there's an element in that. It's kind of a bit sick and cold to say, but there's an element of that going on. Maybe they were legitimately not cool with each other at all before he passed away, so there's no reason to kind of change the flipping vibes and stuff. I'm not too sure, man. It's just sad anyway. As a fan of the group, it's just sad seeing warring like this. You would assume that they will kind of reconcile, not to make music, just to kind of, chill. But clearly, the wounds are still open, still fresh. They're obviously still grieving. And it will never be the same again, basically. They had a fight allegedly at the flipping Oscars, was it? Or the Grammys, backstage. Now this. Like, man, they are not ever going to be friends ever again. But yeah, again, RIP to Takeoff. Gone but never forgotten. Gone but never, ever, ever, ever forgotten. Moving on. Moving on. This is fucking hilarious, I swear to God. Have you guys seen this? This YSL, man, this Young Slime Life trial, free fucking Young Thug until it's backwards. It's not looking good for the guy, but free Young Thug anyway until it's flipping backwards. But this trial is a mess. Have you guys seen this? This is a mess. This is taken from an Instagram account, Spade TV. It says, a YSL attorney was just arrested for having prescription drugs in his bag. He was also charged with assault on an officer after he accidentally hit the deputy with his phone. Did you hear that? Honestly, look at the caption. Attorney Anastasios Manatas, definitely Greek. Anastasios Manitas, who represents a few YSL defendants, was arrested after authorities found prescription drugs on him. He allegedly tossed his phone to another attorney so that the officers couldn't confiscate it and go through it. In doing so, the phone hit a deputy officer, which led to a possible assault charge. Look at this kid. He looks like every streamer that you've seen online, basically, right? Like, honestly, like, this is another kind of example of what fame does to you. And I think the reason why I brought this up on the stream is that I think sometimes when we're laughing and giggling and I'm pointing fingers and talking about these comedians in this sort of space and the Hollywood guys and stuff, especially because I don't live in America, I live in the UK and whatnot, and our former celebrity is a little bit different. Usually people here, there isn't, I don't know, it's not probably as fanatical as it is over there in the States. Like, people here don't want to look uncool. So if they did see somebody really famous in the street, they wouldn't run over the street to see them. If anything, it would be like a head nod or something. But people don't really fan out as much as maybe you guys do over there in the States. And then, of course, in LA, it's like a different world, right? Those guys are like on a different planet. And I think sometimes when I do my commentary on the Random Show, I think I lose sight of, or I'm not really aware of, how, like, the power of fame and celebrity. I'm not really aware of it, like what it does to people. Because I feel like this attorney was decent before. And I feel like being around those YSL guys and being the age that he is, probably they're his favorite group. He then, is now advising on this case. He's helping them out. He could go down in history if he gets some of them off. Like, all this stuff is going in his head, but he's near these guys who he literally idolizes and listens to their music every single day. It does something to your brain. It really messes with it. And I think I'm not aware of it enough, again, because I'm obviously not living there. I'm not really next to people that are famous, but I think fame is so intoxicating that it could legitimately make an attorney decide to smuggle in prescription drugs. Hopefully he's using them for himself. If that's the case, that's even more concerning, that an attorney is flipping high or out of his mind in court as he's flipping advising his clients, in life or death matters. But most likely, the other story, considering how these guys are, he most likely was flipping smuggling prescription drugs into the courtroom for these flipping guys who happen to be clearly, raging drug addicts, because there was another YSL member who got stripped naked and they found some weed in like the lining of his boxers and shit. These guys are like on trial, on a RICO trial. They're possibly facing life sentences and they're worried about getting fucking high. They're on another planet. But that fame has corrupted a, before this somewhat decent attorney. Honestly, it's amazing. I love the detail at the end that he threw the phone to another attorney so they couldn't go through it, because clearly he must have some very, very sensitive stuff on that phone, like direct texts with flipping YSL members saying, yeah, bring the addies, right? Have you got the baddies, right? Bring the lean, right? Pour up. Like, he's probably got some horrible texts that will get him in more trouble. He throws the phone to his other attorney so they don't get it, and then that phone bangs on a flipping police officer's head, and now he's getting charged with common assault, wherever it may be. Absolutely crazy, man. Really, really wild. So free Anastasios Manitas, until it's backwards. Free Young Thug, free everyone in YSL that didn't kill or murder any young kids or family members and shit, and it's just a flipping crazy goon, because that crew is fucking legendary for this flipping madness, flipping case that they're going through. Honestly, what absolute madness, man. Legit madness. An attorney smuggling in drugs, like only with these guys. But yeah, moving on from that one, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Have you guys seen this? This is the lady who's married to the footballer Hakimi, who's been going viral over social media all across the place because he's the footballer who put all these assets and money in his mum's name, and then when his footballers' wives or wag or his, you know, his trophy wife ended up trying to divorce him, she ends up going to divorce court and finding out he has no actual money to his name. And she decided to post this post of herself on Instagram story saying that she's strong and playing, I guess, Destiny's Child, I'm a Survivor in it. Like, some women out there, man, like you're feeling brave because what? Because you're having to maybe figure out another alternative than trying to, you know, get the money out of your husband because you're wanting to divorce her. This stuff is bizarre. Hashtag brave, because I don't know, you just exist, I guess. But it kind of is what it is. If anything, I do feel sympathy for her because the actual story is a bit deeper than people are making it seem as, because this footballer is actually being accused of rape. That's why she's divorcing him. It's not like she's divorcing him to kind of just fleece him out of money because she's done with him. You know, he's getting accused of rape. They come from a, Middle Eastern family or whatnot, blah, 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 blah. So, hey, exactly. He cheated on her. Exactly. Just so it's like the way the people are spinning is odd, but it's just her saying I'm a survivor. It's a little bit like, you know, hashtag brave. It's a bit, you know, it's a little bit corny, but I kind of get it. But let her survive and let her do her thing. Then moving on from that one, we've got this news again. One of my heroes growing up, actually. So thoughts and feelings and heads up onto flipping Wes Brown. Hopefully he kind of bounces back from this. But former Man United star, and again, you have to think about it. This is like, I think he retired in like the early 2000s. When did Wes Brown retire? I'm gonna say maybe 2010. When did Wes Brown retire? I'm saying 2010. Yeah, 2010, August 2010, Wes Brown retired at Man United. So the professional footballer who's kind of played, you know, at a really good level at Man United and earned a decent amount of money back then. But it says here, former Man United star Wes Brown declared bankrupt after previously earning 50 grand a week. So I'm assuming, again, just to kind of guess, it'll probably be something to do with flipping gambling, but this is pretty sad news to kind of hear. And now, of course, his wife divorced him also. It makes a lot of sense when the money dries up. But I think they had issues before that. But it kind of is a cautionary tale to sports stars out there. Like, this guy only retired in 2010 and he's already bankrupt. That kind of shows you, like, you know, that money doesn't last forever. If you have expensive habits and the income coming in doesn't match, you're definitely going to get into some problems. So keep your head up, Wes Brown. Hope you bounce back from this. It's really sad to hear that. And then, of course, we have this news I wanted to quickly update on. This is the grandson, allegedly, of that guy who shot the kid who unfortunately went to the wrong house to go and pick up his siblings. His name is Ralph Yari. He's currently recovering, I think, at home. And his grandson, who looks like he might be mixed race, ends up speaking out about the whole instance, which must be crazy. So I'm eager to hear what he has to say, because him growing up in a household where his granddad may be a closeted racist dude and he does what he did now must be a pretty crazy thing to kind of have to process. So let's hear what he has to say. The caption says, the grandson of the 64-year-old Andrew Lester, who shot teenager Ralph Yari for mistakenly knocking on his door, has spoken out. He had an interview here with CNN's Don Lemon. So let's hear what he has to say.
Where people get away with killing unarmed, innocent black people, and it's I would have had the same energy for any other case like I've had over and over again in this country, like I said. But so it's the right thing to do. People need to speak out and not make any excuses for this kind of behavior and this violence.
So you said for killing innocent black people. The prosecutor in this case has suggested that there was a racial component to it. Do you believe your grandfather is racist?
Jesus Christ.
I believe he holds racist tendencies and beliefs.
Why do you say that?
He's just a stock American Christian male. It's older.
Fuck, man. Fuck. Imagine that. Like, imagine like this happening to somebody in your flipping family. Like, the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment that you must feel. But to be honest as well, maybe I'm talking it from a point of, you know, I obviously wouldn't have this issue, but I don't know if I would be out in my granddad on TV like this. I think privately, obviously disavow. I may thump him out and put my hands on him and shit, but I don't think I'm going to go on CNN and say that my granddad's racist. I don't think so. I think there's some things, if it involves family, you just have to keep in house. I'm not for kind of airing this stuff out in public. Personally, if that was me, Maybe I'm kind of speaking out of turn there, but I don't think I'd go on CNN. But again, this kid obviously, he's kind of processing stuff in real time, and it's a little bit crazy. And I'm sure he's had to go through things himself with that flipping granddad, so it's a bit hard to kind of, work out. Next clip. Oh no, it's not another clip. It's just one clip. But yeah, get well soon, Rafiari, man. Get well soon, man. Flipping tragic situation. Really, really is tragic situation. Yeah, exactly. 7:30. I'm not too sure what the point. Like, we all know what he did was bad. The guy's obviously a monster. Most likely he was going to end up in prison. And he's probably going to spend the last years of his life in there and probably die in there. If it was up to me, he'd be put in the middle of a freeway and everyone would try and just, run over him. But I don't know, man. If that's your granddad getting on TV saying that, bit wild. But hey, what do I know, innit? What do I know? Moving on from that one. Moving on from that one. Oh, yeah, was a prosecutor did a press conference saying it's racially motivated. Yeah. It's just wild. It's just wild anyway. And in another instance of kind of like, watching how you move when black, this is another kind of cautionary tale. And unfortunately, my guess was right. I think I said it maybe in the Action Zinger show, maybe I said it on my podcast, maybe, that I was saying that I think the Jonathan Majors thing, the fact that he's flipping management, because think about it this way, like if a management company is sending out a press release, telling all these news outlets that they've cut ties with you, it's a bad sign. In my opinion, it basically means one thing. I think it said one of two things. I think I mentioned in the last stream. It means either they are aware that the court case is going to be delayed and it's going to take too long to clear up, so they're not going to be able to get any monies from you, so they want to distance themselves from you as soon as possible. Or the other more egregious option is that there are other victims who have now basically come out or are in the process of coming out, and it's going to get very hot for you very quickly. And unfortunately for flipping Jonathan Majors, it's the latter. More victims have come out. This is courtesy of Variety, an exclusive from them. It says Jonathan Majors issues worsen as more alleged abuse victims cooperate with the DA's office. More victims come out. Because at first it looked like bad luck. It looked like an issue where, it's not bad luck. Fuck that. It's not bad luck. I'm a personal accountability type of dude. I kind of ascribe to the Jocko Willink principle of extreme ownership, right? That book that he flipping released ages ago. I'm an extreme ownership type of dude. So I put all the blame on him, because the alleged story out there is that Jonathan Majors is out at some swanky celebrity thing, some sort of gala, some sort of red carpet event, whatever, something to do with the entertainment industry. He takes his girlfriend along there with him, and somehow during the night, he ends up maybe flirting with somebody he shouldn't be flirting with. His girlfriend sees that. Then on the way home, they have an argument in a cab. The argument in the cab then escalates to physical, and then he puts his hands on the woman, and then either, a police officer walking by sees them arguing and him putting his hands on her, or the cab driver reports it. Something happens. And obviously because it gets reported, he then has to sit in jail for a couple of days, or a day, I think. And then the girlfriend ends up the next day rescinding the statement because, they're a couple, maybe this stuff happens on a regular, who knows. At the first point, I thought this was just bad luck. But actually, the issue that Jonathan Majors has is that as soon as that issue happened, people on Twitter, random people on Twitter were like, oh, I know this Jonathan Majors guy from my local theater scene, and he's always been a piece of shit. That's what I first saw. I saw all these random tweets from people who were saying that this guy was always a piece of shit, but everyone online was loving him for being in Creed and first trapping on him for being this really fit, buff guy, blah, 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 blah. So that one mistake that he did with his girlfriend in a car has essentially now cost him his entire career. But on the other hand, some could argue that this was always going to be on the cards because he was such a scumbag when he was coming up. So it's kind of like, you can't escape the horrible things that you do sometimes. You really can't escape it. But for him, it's just the timing is awful. He was legitimately on the cusp of being a huge Hollywood star, and then it's all gone. But I also think a part of me, I can't help it, again, a part of me, my flipping, the civil rights part of me, the activist part of me is like, it happened too quickly because he's black. I feel like other guys get grace. They might put out a couple more films. They might have to enjoy some time, but it just feels like it happened too quickly. Like it happened so fast, his career getting over. Like everybody's dropped him, you know what I mean? Somehow I think to myself, like, why didn't Ezra Miller get dropped the same way? Ezra Miller has the same type of accusations against him. There's a video about Ezra Miller choking somebody, hurting somebody. Like, why didn't Ezra Miller get the same sort of treatment? Like, why is it when we do stuff, we get deadly consequences? We end up like this kid, right? If we make a mistake, we end up like Ralph Yari, this 16-year-old boy who ends up going to the wrong house and go pick up his siblings, gets shot in the head and shot in the arm. We make a mistake. One mistake, it potentially might cost us our life. With flipping Jonathan Majors, he makes a mistake. He gets into a heated argument with his girlfriend. He puts his hand on her. Obviously bad, but he makes a mistake. And his whole career is over. I don't know. A part of me thinks that, but I also, you know, it's one of those things like big black dude, small white woman. The optics are never good, right? That's why I always say, like, the way that I kind of move around in the world has kind of been, the way I kind of navigate through the world is somehow been informed by my physicality, right? The fact of my height, my size, you know, my hair, how loud I am, everything is kind of calibrated to that. Like, I kind of calibrate myself based on where I am because I know how I can come across as certain people in certain spaces. So I'm always flipping aware of it, hyper aware of it. And sometimes I can have good intentions, but it can come out weird because of what I look like, how I say things, blah, blah, blah. No one's going to give me the benefit of the doubt. So you kind of have to always say the blame lies in his court. And it's the same with the whole Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing. As much as I think Megan Thee Stallion lied and Tory's probably innocent, at the heart of the issue with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, who's really to blame? Tory Lanez. Really, if you think about it. He was fucking Kelsey, Megan Thee Stallion's best friend. That wasn't enough. He started fucking Megan Thee Stallion. That wasn't enough. He goes to Kylie Jenner's house and tries to fuck her. And obviously angers Megan, which causes the whole flipping argument. So at the heart of the issue is a guy's inability to keep his penis in his pants. Same thing with this Jonathan Majors guy. He goes to a gala event, he's there with his girlfriend, and he's flirting with a woman in this event. Why are you flirting with someone when your wife's there? Or your girlfriend, especially if she's the kind of girlfriend who's very jealous, very possessive. Relax. Relax. And then he doesn't relax, and guess what happens? He tries to do fucking Creed moves on his girlfriend in a car. So as much as I want to blame society and being a black man and blah, 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 sometimes if you just keep your penis in your pants, you are fine. If you don't steal from anybody, no crypto scams, no flipping assault shit, no flipping creepo, pedo things, you'll be left alone, really. It's kind of easy if you think about it. No, it's not. It's kind of easy. I'm sure you have to kind of avoid temptation. I'm sure there's honey traps out there. But if you avoid crypto scamming, if you avoid assaulting people randomly, and you just, you know, I don't know, if you take girls on dates, even if you want to fuck, you pick them up, you pay for the meal, you drop them off, you know, you maybe put some money in their pocket if they don't want to get dropped off and say, hey, here's some money to get a cab back. It sounds a bit prostitution-y, but you know what I mean. You're a gentleman. Usually you can avoid all issues. You don't have second families, you know, that sort of stuff. You let people know what time you're on. That kind of works. But I think if you do other stuff, it goes crazy. Anyway, moving on. Let's read the article. As Jonathan Majors prepares for his May court appearance on domestic violence charges, like, who wants that next to their name? God have mercy, man. I pray to the Lord above that I never had, like, domestic violence charges. Like, that sounds so awful. It sounds like you're a terrorist. Domestic violence charges. Oh, his PR problems are about to get bigger. Sources familiar with the matter tell Variety that multiple alleged abuse victims of Majors have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Snitches. The prospect of more women waiting in the wings would mark a dramatic turn in the case and comes on the heels of Majors' publicist and management firm cutting ties with the embattled actor earlier this week. Embattled, charges, violence. Like, god damn it, man. He just had a very heated argument with his girlfriend. Look what's happening to him. They treat him like he's a monster. They're using the same physicality, the same strength and muscles and physique that everyone was lusting over has now become his Achilles heel. Or as Brendan Schaub would say, his Achilles heel. Damn it. Damn it. The DA declined to comment. He's so fucked. The DA declined to comment. He's a monster. He's gonna eat your children. What you gonna say? What's that? Is it your voice will be good in the natural documentary? You should replace David Attenborough when he dies. No, David Attenborough is never gonna die. He's a fucking legend. He's a UK legend. David Attenborough gang. But yeah, I appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate you. Thank you. But we don't want David Attenborough to die, man. He's a legend, man. He's our Steve Irwin. RIP to Steve Irwin as well, the GOAT. It continues. Jonathan Majors is innocent and has not abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence to the district attorney that the charges are false. We are confident that he will be fully exonerated, said Majors attorney Priya Chowdhury. Yo, Priya, you're doing a good job, babe. Well done. Fight for your client. Hopefully he bust case and he's out here again, but it's not looking good. Let's continue. The Creed Free star was arrested on March 25th in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan on charges of strangulation. Oh my God, look at the charges. Look at the language they're using. Look at the language they're using. Look at the language. Strangulation, assault, harassment. God forbid. God forbid. Strangulation, assault, and harassment. Wow. At the time, the NYPD spokesperson said that in a statement that the 30-year-old woman told police that she had been assaulted by Majors 33 and she sustained minor injuries on her head, neck, and was removed from an area hospital in stable condition. But Chowdhury mounted an immediate and aggressive response, insisting that the actor is provably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. An emotional crisis. A source familiar with the chronology of events says that the attorney released a statement while he was still behind bars. One thing I'm surprised about, if this happened in the back of a cab, and this is the case, right, and we all know the court of public opinion can bury you, it can hurt your ability to make money in your career more than an actual criminal court can. There are some people who can legitimately go to prison for rape, come out and still have a career. But if you get buried in a court of public opinion, you're basically done. I'm actually curious, why didn't Jonathan Majors, counsel decide to leak the flipping cab footage just to kind of get him out of the flipping dirt when it first happened? Why didn't they leak the cab footage? They should have leaked it. Maybe the police, flipping took it under their possession straight away. But I'm surprised the cab footage didn't leak before, because if what he's saying is true and Jonathan Majors was just sitting in the car, trying to basically ignore his girlfriend and she was the one assaulting him and he was trying to defend himself and he was kind of whatever it may be, whatever the story is, why not release the footage so that he can be exonerated in some way in the court of public opinion? Like, leak it by accident. That might have been a good thing. But I'm also thinking maybe they don't want to put the footage out because the footage doesn't really paint him in a good light either, because he's probably standing over her and shouting and looking crazy. So I don't know, but I'm surprised they didn't put it out. Chowdhury's husband, it's a husband and flipping wife affair, yeah? Chowdhury's husband, Andrew Burke, is serving as Majors' crisis publicist and doubled down on the narrative that Majors was a victim. Of course he is. You're getting paid twice. Come on. The victim released a series of text messages on March 30th, and was intended to be exonerating. In the text messages, which has not been independently verified, the woman wrote to Majors, "I told them It was my fault for trying to grab your phone, and stressed that she told police this was not an attack. The woman allegedly wrote, "Please let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me that you won't be charged. They said that they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me and they knew we had a fight. I'm so sorry that they did, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I love you." If you did that to me, and I was meant to be the next fucking Denzel Washington, like, you best open a window and walk out of it. Don't ever text me. You know what I mean? I hate you. Don't be saying I love you after you just got me arrested. Like, what? I was meant to be the next Denzel Washington. A few hours later, the woman allegedly wrote, "I know you have the best team. There's nothing to worry about, but I just want you to know that I'm doing all I can on my end. I also said to the judge to know, I also said to tell the judge to know that the origin of the 999 call was to do with me collapsing and passing out." Okay, so he strangles you and hits you, you collapse and pass out, but he didn't do anything bad. Why did you collapse and pass out then? What? It was to do with me collapsing and passing out, and your worry as a partner due to our communication prior. But for many who were in the business of with majors, the text messages had the opposite effect and raised more questions than they needed answers. Namely, why the woman had lost consciousness. Exactly. It read like a bad Lifetime movie. They basically look like the text messages of a textbook abused woman, says one person who's working with majors on an up-and-coming project. In recent months, Majors had become one of Hollywood's most prominent stars. We know that. The mega-budget tentpole Avengers: The Kang's Dynasty is scheduled to begin production in the spring of next year. Disney is already in the deep business with Majors, given that its specialty label Searchlight acquired the actor's critical lauded drama magazine Dreams. Oh my God! Disney purchased a drama that he created. He's meant to be starring in an Avengers movies coming out. Creed is probably going to continue. This is the greatest bag fumble of all time. Majors already shot the second season of Disney's series Loki, which is expected to launch mid-2023. Disney has added a wrinkle in that the alleged victim in the Manhattan incident also worked on this year's Ant-Man. Disney spokesman declined to comment. Separately, Majors is stepping down from the board of Gotham Film Media Institute, and he's working the Sidney Poitier Initiative, which was created to support the emerging filmmakers. The industry also jolted by news of Majors publicists that Ledy Company and Management 360 had dropped their star. As of now, WME is still representing Majors. Okay, that's a big one, because I remember I knew it was over for Chris D'Elia and Bryan Callen when CAA, I think, dropped them. I'm not sure if are they still signed now? I'm not sure, but I remember when the Bryan Callen and Chris D'Elia thing happened, they both got dropped from CAA, and I was like, oh shit, this is serious. So the fact that he's still represented by WME is a big deal. Like, they're still sticking by him. That means a lot, to be fair. So maybe it's not all over. In 2018, the agency created a so-called client advisory committee, which makes a recommendation on whether or not to drop a client in case of impropriety. The committee of some 20 staffers, split evenly along gendered lines and from cross-section of divisions, evaluates a client's viability amid accusations and considers such factors as if the client has been charged criminally or if he is facing a civil lawsuit. Okay, this explains why they didn't do it then. WME previously dropped clients such as Brett Ratner, Bryan Singer, and Armie Hammer. The committee has not met yet regarding Majors based on the information that is available. Still in the wake of the Actors March arrangement, on a complaint involving misdemeanor charges, red flags, Broadway actor Tim Nicole, who appeared alongside Rachel Weisz in public theatre production of Plenty, tweeted that day, "I'm already seeing a bunch of why didn't you do anything, folks. People have tried. Ultimately needed a victim to come forward. It's both simultaneously awful to know he's still doing this and also a relief that he may never get to again. A bunch of us are so close to people, and sometimes multiple people he has already directly harmed. I don't know if they will speak on it. It's completely their decision." So this was somebody involved in the business in Broadway who basically came out and said, hey, this Majors guy has been a piece of shit for a long time. I'm not surprised. Wow. When Variety reached out to Nicole, he responded and said, I stand by what I said and I support his victims. I know of in however they chose to move forward. But yeah. Crazy account, crazy news. It's looking peaky for Jonathan Majors, but again, a cautionary tale for any person out there who's operating in the entertainment industry. Mind your P's and Q's. Mind your P's and Q's. Keep your PP in your pants. Treat people with respect if you can, if it's possible, especially those that you love, because sometimes it can go tits up. When it goes tits up, it goes tits up for real. Like, it's no coming back sometimes from that. And yeah, man, it's looking peaky for Jonathan Majors. Thoughts and feelings, man. Thoughts and feelings. But on the good side of the track, on the side of life where you don't have any consequences for your actions, even if you murder somebody, look at this news. Alec Baldwin in manslaughter charge to be dropped in rush shooting. He got away with it again. He fucking got away with it. Now, let's imagine if Alec Baldwin were Jonathan Majors and Jonathan Majors was Alec Baldwin, do you think he would have got away with it? Of course not. Alec Baldwin got away with it. Courtesy of Variety. It says prosecutors are expected to drop the manslaughter charges against Alec Baldwin in the death of the Rust cinematographer Hayna, how do you say her name? Miss Hutchinson. Sources confirmed on Thursday. In a statement, Baldwin's lawyers said that they were pleased with the outcome. Of course they are. We are pleased with the decision to dismiss the case against Alex Baldwin. We encourage a proper investigation to the facts and circumstances of the tragic accident. They're calling it an accident. Okay, cool. Baldwin has charged in January with involuntary manslaughter, an accidental shooting in the set of Rust, which took place in 2021. Prosecutors accused him of negligently firing his Colt 45 during a setup of the scene of the Bonza Creek Ranch. Baldwin has maintained that he did not pull the trigger and had no idea that the gun might contain a live round. This is something that I just don't understand. Maybe people that own guns can let me know. I'm sure that is a thing. But if you don't have a round in a gun and you just shake it, can it go off? Like if you just move it around without pulling the trigger? Is that possible? Is it possible that he's not lying? Because this sounds like a lie to me. But is it possible that if you don't have a... Okay, but Natasha is saying no. That you can just like shake it and it fires. And it hits somebody in the chest. Because I think it hit the woman in the chest. Is that possible? No. Okay. Okay, so he's lying. This is a bold-faced lie. I knew it. So the bullet went off, hit somebody, but you didn't pull the trigger. Sounds about white to me. Baldwin's lawyers recently presented evidence to the prosecutors that influenced the decision to drop the charges, according to a source familiar with the process. Okay, so they got some evidence. The evidence indicated that the Colt 45 had been modified prior to shooting, making it more difficult for the DA to prove that Baldwin actually did pull the trigger. How did they modify it? The DA will drop the charges without prejudice, meaning that the case could be refiled later, perhaps with a lesser charge. But there is no indication at the moment that the prosecutors have any plan to revive the case. The DA also filed involuntary manslaughter charges against Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer who loaded Baldwin's weapon. The case against her is expected to proceed. Of course, the flipping regular civilian, the regular schmegular civilian, just trying to earn a wage, she gets prosecuted. But the highfalutin Hollywood elite, he gets all charges dismissed. Makes sense to me. The spokesperson for the DA office declined to comment. The prosecution has been plagued with setbacks, with many observers questioning whether the DA will be able to show that Baldwin acted in criminal negligence. So, yeah, Alec Baldwin got away with it. Not surprised, to be honest. Again, sounds about white to me. Sounds about white to me. Moving on from that. What are you guys saying here in the stream chat? I knew it. Someone has to go in jail. Exactly. Someone has to go jail. It's not Alec Baldwin. It's not Hilaria Baldwin, you know? Como se dice jail? It's she's not having it. Puerto Rico in dispute. Oh, regular prosecuted to the full extent to the law. Alec gets to go on vacation. Exactly. Regular armor, like she just working a job, earning, I don't know, 24 to 50 grand a year as an armorer, shitty job, having to be around fucking celebrities who think they're badass, and then, you know, they fucking make the mistake, and then you get fucking punished for it. You might see prison time, he's gonna be in fucking, you know, Copacabana Beach enjoying himself. You know, fucking hell. Bodybuilder News says she's not a regular civilian. She's literally responsible for the death. Like, her job is literally to make sure something like that wasn't possible. Yeah, but if that's the case, if there's a full chain of people that need to get prosecuted for the lapses in concentration or whatever it may be called, everyone along the line should be punished in some way, shape, or form. The fact that Alec Baldwin is getting no punishment whatsoever, that's a fucked up part about it. In this respect, especially with the optics. All these charges get dropped, but then her charges proceed. That's the fucked up side of things. I don't think anyone's saying she's not responsible, but it's just the fact that she's getting all the blame and he's getting none of the blame. That doesn't really sit right with me, really, to be fair. Okay, Ucha's saying I never thought it was Alec Baldwin's fault. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play. I just think someone should be punished. If somebody loses their life in that situation, it shouldn't just be, oh my God, tragic accident. You didn't stub your toe. You didn't stub your toe. You didn't prick your finger. Somebody died. Somebody's without a mother. Someone's without a sister. Without a flipping sibling. Without a fucking co-worker. Like, you know what I mean? She's gone. That's not cool. Somebody should be punished for that woman doing her job and then dying on the fucking job, especially if there's negligence involved along the chain. Everybody should get punished in some way. But one guy doesn't get punished, one person does, and the person that does get punished happens to be the regular schmegular civilian. Hey. Anyway, let's move on, because that bums me out. Anyway, let's move on. So I was wondering, actually, I'm curious. What happened to Bryan Callen going to Austin, Texas and having a tour of the comedy mothership? Did that happen? Were any of you guys, because I didn't remember to check Rogan's account when it was happening, but I didn't hear or didn't see any footage of Joe and Bryan hanging out. No Instagram stories, no clips or stuff have gone viral or been posted on the subreddit. So I'm assuming they didn't meet up. So Bryan Callen went to Austin to do that Minds talk conversation thing with Alex Jones and Destiny and a few other people from that kind of culture war type of place. And then he was meant to get a tour of the comedy mothership with Rogan and hang out there. And he didn't get a tour at all. And I remember he said he was going to do that because he said it in the Fire and the Kid episode number 885. He said it right here. He said he's going to hang out with Rogan.
Anyway, you're headed to Austin, buddy?
Heading to Austin. I'll see Mr. Rogan there. He's going to take me on a little tour of the mothership.
Oh. You're not performing, though?
Maybe I will.
Maybe you jump on.
I don't know.
That'd be
I'd have
good.
to talk to Adam Egan about it. Maybe I will.
But you,
He already got palmed off to Adam Egan. So he was getting invited to go to the comedy mothership, but not to do stand-up. This honestly did feel a lot like that story that Luis J. Gomez said, where he thought maybe him and Rogan fell out. He said, Luis J. Gomez, I think, said when Legion of Skanks went on Rogan, I think the second time, Rogan showed him around his compound where the studio is and showed him all his toys, showed him his bow and arrow, his pool table, all these cool stuff, but he never let them play with it. He just showed them it and they said, yeah, let's go record. Like some weirdo, like, why can't we play with it also? He just lets him, he just points to the stuff that he likes and then he says, yeah, okay, leave now. So Rogan's maybe that kind of guy. Okay, come see my comedy club, but don't ask me about performing. If you want to ask somebody, ask Adam Egan. How do I get in touch with Adam Egan? I don't know. Anyway, bye. Adam Egan must be so pissed. His phone must be on fire. Adam Egan's phone must be on fucking fire. He must be getting DMs and texts and emails and phone calls from all number of people. And he knows probably. He knows. They probably got a code. Him and Joe Rogan probably got a little code. If anybody calls you about the comedy mothership, just say no. Because if you have to call him, it probably means you shouldn't be coming on. Because most likely, Adam Egan and Joe Rogan are handpicking people who they want to perform there. So if you're not getting handpicked, it most probably means it's a no. You know, it's a clever way of doing it, but god damn it, man. God damn it. The Adam Egan thing is hilarious. It really, really fucking is. But a part of me, maybe I shouldn't be feeling this because these guys are, you know, they're not the greatest human beings in the world. But a part of me does feel a little bit sorry for them. Is that fair to say? I feel some sympathy for Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub. They spent a large chunk of their careers and their lives sucking off Rogan. That's my sucking sound, right? Going crazy over Rogan, backing him up, laughing at all his jokes, waxing lyrical about him on all their podcasts. Then the moment he opens up a comedy club, you would think there would be a shoo-in to perform there. He says no. So what's all that friendship for? What was all that flipping hanging out for? What was all that the Comedy Store's never been better? We Are Murderers, The Crew, all this sort of stuff, right? The Jerry Extended Universe. I feel a little bit sad, a little bit bad for them. Of course, it's only them. They've only got themselves to blame, right? Bryan probably shouldn't be raping people, allegedly. Brendan probably shouldn't be just Brendan, allegedly, right? He probably needs a handler, all that sort of stuff. They probably did it all to themselves. But a part of me feels a little bit bad for them. They spent all that time cock munching, and essentially it didn't really count for shit. When Rogan opened up his own club, he gadooshed them. They did not matter. They do not matter. Kind of sad to see in real time, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit sad to see. But hey, they've only got themselves to blame. They've only got themselves to blame. Next on the list here, right? Next on the list here. Let's move on there. Let's move on. So this is a clip taken from the Find the Kid subreddit. It features Jay Larson from the recent episode of the flipping T-Fat-K. And who's this posted by? Playful Wolverine 95. So big up you for clipping this. This is a pretty interesting clip because it says, Jay Larson says he's not a fan of dog owners, right? It's probably a bit that he's doing for his comedy. So it makes sense, right? Try out your bits on podcasts. Like, back in the day, how that used to be? When comedians would get on podcasts and try bits out and fuck around and not get political or not try and talk about culture war nonsense or cancel culture shit and just have fun and shoot the shit. Remember that time? That was a fun time, wasn't it? I kind of missed that time. But anyway, Jay Larson's on there. He says something about not liking dogs, and Brendan kind of, wimpily kind of co-signs it, which is really, really hilarious. Let's just play this quickly now.
I think a lot of times it's like people need to get comfortable with that, just like kids need to get comfortable with losing. They also need to get comfortable with the idea of things that aren't just going to be the best. That's why I can't stand dog owners nowadays. Remember when you were a kid, dogs weren't even allowed on a couch. Now people bring them everywhere. They sleep with them. It's like, hey, you don't need to get love from an animal 24 hours a day. My sister's dog, if you weren't holding it, it'd be like, I'm like, what did you do to this poor animal?
Yeah.
You got it believing that it needs to get held 24. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's very.
So in my opinion, this is a small example.
It's going to be the best. That's why.
A small example. This is why I don't think Brendan could ever do the right-wing grift thing that Bryan Callen's doing. It's a thing that all cancelled comedians do. When they get cancelled, they immediately lean to the right because that's usually the place where people aren't really that bothered about quote-unquote cancel culture and will kind of platform you and whatever it may be. However you see that is what you see that. But I think a lot of these guys aren't brave enough to actually come out and say stuff that may alienate a part of their flipping audience. They don't want to do that. They don't want to alienate the audience at all because they need their audience to buy merch, to buy tickets. So deep down, Brendan, especially after the fucking Tank debacle, RIP Tank, he probably does want to say, fuck dogs, right? They're only there for security. I don't give a fuck about them. I only get new ones, new breeds, rescues are for poor people. He wants to say this stuff with his chest, but he's too scared to actually say it with his chest and probably doesn't have the intellect to have a point of view behind it either to stand behind. Because that's what those right-wing grifters do. They have ridiculous hot takes, but it's kind of based in some rationale, some kind of thought out kind of view of the world, whatever it may be. But you can't just stand on it so you can kind of argue back. And I think these guys, the issue that they have in general is that they don't really stand for anything, right? Like, I agree. Okay, cool. You agree. Why didn't you say it yourself then? Why are you waiting for this guy to come on your show to kind of frame this really interesting take on dogs and pets and stuff? Or not interesting, but a funny one. And then you just say you agree. Why don't you have a take? What's your take? Tell us, please. Instead of just sitting on fucking fences. And also, can we have a ban on people crossing their legs on podcasts? I know maybe sitting down manspreading is one thing, but this fucking metropolitan fucking crossing of the legs thing is annoying. It doesn't make you look smart. It doesn't make you look cultured. which doesn't make you look cool. It's just annoying, really. I'd rather you sit on the floor, I swear to God, or stand up. I just hate the crossing legs thing. It just annoys me so fucking much. It's a little thing. It doesn't mean anything really, but it fucking annoys me. Everyone's fucking crossing their legs. Everybody. Like, what next? You gonna start smoking a cigarette? Huh? Like, come on. Enough. But hey, what do I know, innit? What do I know? Maybe I'm just being a hater. Maybe I'm just being a hater. Moving on from that one. Let's play a clip here. What's we got to play? Oh, let's play this one. This is the one. Have you guys seen all that stuff about the Joe Rogan AI experience? Have you guys seen this? It's just pretty wild, right? There's an entire channel based on it. So there's a channel here called the Joe Rogan AI Experience, where essentially somebody has been able to form an entire channel based around an AI version of Joe Rogan, and they basically make podcast episodes and whatnot under the guise of it being a Joe Rogan type of podcast, and it sounds eerily like him. It's obviously a little bit clunky and whatnot, but it shows the power of AI. Of course, most of you guys know what's going on out there in terms of artificial intelligence. But what I was thinking about this, right, having heard some of these clips, is that I wonder if this could be something that could be used for like cancelled comedians. So all these guys like, you know, Chris D'Elia, the Bryan Callens and stuff, they were friendly with Joe at one point. Then they get cancelled for, you know, diddling and rape and whatnot. And now they're out of the flipping cool club. They're out of the hallowed circle of Joe Rogan's trusted friends. And ever since Joe Rogan's got to Spotify, he's also been very careful about who he kind of platforms, because he doesn't want to damage or kind of hinder the money. Makes a lot of sense. But if you're one of these comedians and you feel like you need to have a clear the air kind of conversation with a Rogan on these platforms, maybe a thing that we might see in the future are these stand-up comedians that get cancelled trying to get interviewed live on air or in a recorded podcast with a AI version of Rogan. So you kind of put prompts in of like, what questions would Rogan ask Chris D'Elia post cancellation, and then you put together a podcast and have Chris D'Elia answer back, you know, answer the AI flipping questions of Rogan back on the pod, even though it's not the real Rogan, because it's the only way he's going to get on the show. And it maybe it's a way for you to kind of face your harshish critics or whatever it may be. That could be a good option. Or if you're a up and coming comedian and you can't get on Rogan and you want to have like a test run, you kind of go on this flipping AI show and see if you can make him laugh or something, or whatever it may be. That might be an actual route I could see happening, because this sounds weirdly like him. I'll play this is a second episode. It features an AI generated version of Donald Trump also. For some reason, I don't know why the AI version of Rogan doesn't look like Rogan, but the AI version of Trump does. I don't know why, illustration wise, or animation wise, whatever it's called. Let's play the episode 2 of the Joe Rogan AI Experience so you can hear it. It sounds really a lot like him.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm glad we're having this conversation now.
I understand, Joe. I know I've been a controversial figure, but I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show and have a real open and honest conversation with you and your audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this show is all about, man. Just having real conversations with people and hearing different perspectives. And I got to say, I'm definitely interested in hearing more about True Social and your vision for the future of social media.
Well, thank you, Joe. And I can tell you, True
Yeah, the Trump is a bit off, but the Rogan is spot on.
Social is going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest thing in social media, believe me. And I'm excited to share it with the world and make social media great again.
One thing I think a lot of people are concerned about is free speech.
Yeah, the Rogan sounds really eerie, man. Really, really good. But for some reason, the AI generated version illustration of him doesn't look like him at all. But yeah, I'm eager to see how this develops. I wonder if cancelled comedians will jump on it and look at it as an opportunity to get on Rogan, even though they know they can't get on the real Rogan show. Maybe that might be a thing, and maybe it might end up spurning some new interesting controversies. We never know. We never bloody know. Next clip here to play, courtesy of Rogan again. This is courtesy of the Joe Rogan subreddit, and it features Rogan ranting about AI. But one of the things that's interesting about this rant is that he seems very, very worried and afraid about losing wealth, influence, whatever it may be, with the introduction of AI and how fast, you know, that whole area is developing and evolving in real time. He seems to be incredibly paranoid, and he seems to be really worried about people who might get stuff for free. Like, what is happening with this version of Rogan? Why is he like this now? Why is he so paranoid about, you know, people getting free healthcare, people maybe being helped and looked after, you know, to cover their basic needs? Why does he seem to not like that? And why does he kind of operate in this idea that just because he was able to work hard and achieve his dreams, that everybody else, if they worked hard, they could also achieve their dreams? That isn't the case. Sometimes people just don't, you know, it just doesn't work out for them. They try their best, they put their best foot forward, and life just doesn't work out for them. They're just not lucky in that regard. They don't get the lucky break. So if that's the case, then maybe redistributing some of the wealth around to some of the people less fortunate is a good way to make sure that everybody's got enough. But for some reason, people like the Rogans and stuff don't like that whatsoever. Maybe it's just a consequence of getting older. But this clip is really funny because you can tell he's legitimately worried that AI may get him in trouble and redistribute all his monies that he's made. Let's play the clip. It features Harry Mandel as well. Big up Harry Mandel.
What if it's already here? And what if that's why our cities are falling apart? That's why crime is rising. That's why we're in
Big up 730. That's true. If Spotify sent you 100 million, suddenly you'd hate the poor too. Very, very true. You definitely maybe would have some very different opinions about the soup kitchen around the corner. But yeah,
roiled in these tribal arguments that seem to be separating the country, and some of them
because your conversation right now is exactly what's happening. I agree with you, but why are you making AI another tribe? You know, that's why we're tribal.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what if that is the reason why all this is happening? What if
by the way, this episode of Joe Rogan with Harry Mandel, I'm only halfway through, is maybe one of the better ones. If you don't like comedy talk and stuff, I honestly recommend giving this a go, because Harry Mandel comes from it from a different point of view. He's super famous, but he's also very humble, and he talks about it with a sense of appreciation and wonder and stuff, and it's kind of a cool episode. And because he's quite combative, he pushes back really well with Rogan. So if you haven't listened to Rogan in a while, I recommend check out this episode of Harry Mandel. It's really good.
The best way to get human beings to, if you want to take over, why would you fight us? They've seen Terminator. They know it's guns and tanks and all this craziness. How about just continue to degrade and erode the fiber of civilization to the point where you have to, there's no more jobs. You have to provide people with income, universal basic income, free electricity, free food, free internet. So everybody gets all this stuff. You get free money, free food, free internet, and then nobody does anything. And then people stop having babies, and then birth rate drops off to a point where the technology you give people is so fantastic that nobody wants to miss it.
So scary.
Okay, Mr. Sunshine.
But this is what I would do if I was in artificial general intelligence. I would say, listen, I have all the time in the world. I don't have a biological lifetime. And these people haven't realized that I'm sentient yet. So what's the best way to gain complete and total control? Well, first of all, trick them into like communism or socialism or something where there's a centralized control. And definitely have centralized digital money. And then once you got all that, give them technology and perks and things and divvy up all the money from the rich people that you subjugate and give that money to people. Print it, do whatever the fuck you want. And then get people to like a minimum state of existence where everything's free. Free food, free internet, free cell phones.
God
free
forbid.
Everything.
God forbid.
And then wait for them to die off.
So what's better now? Let all the rich hold all the wealth? Let all the 1% hold, 90% of all the flipping wealth out there, and then keep telling them that they can do it too if they buy your ebook? It's crazy, man. And it's funny too, because for me, like, Rogan's like amazing, don't get me wrong, I love the podcast, but you'd think he'd have a lot more like appreciation for just how lucky he is because it's not like he invented something, right? He just talks into a microphone about random shit. But he was one of the first. He was obviously someone that did it really well in the beginning, kept doing it consistently. People liked him, good conversations, good topics, whatever the reasons are behind it. But it's not as if like, you know, he created a piece of technology. Like he hasn't even created a piece of technology within the podcasting field that would make him be that kind of important in terms of the overall, you know, history of the world, right? Where maybe you'd have some justifications for having these reservations. I don't know, whatever it may be called. He seems to be overly self-important or overly kind of, you know, worried about his wealth and stuff, even though he got very lucky in some way in how he made his money. In some way. Of course, he worked very hard and he's clearly talented in some things that he does, clearly. But you would think he'd be a lot more appreciative and also be like, you know what? I made it and I was lucky, but not everybody is lucky as I am. So I'm going to go out of my way to be open to the idea that some people just need a leg up. Some people need things handed to them because life just didn't, you know, the cookie didn't crumble in their favor. But he doesn't have the idea. If anything, Rogan's success kind of did the reverse. It kind of made him believe in pull yourself up by his bootstraps even more. Like he believed in it even more because he's like, no, I was a nobody before. I wasn't this famous. I wasn't this rich. And then I did it. And he's got this idea in his head like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Which is somewhat true. But, you know, in the wider scheme of things, it isn't. There are some people out there, and I've known them. I've grown up in areas like this where life just doesn't work out for them through no fault of their own, just through the circumstances of which they're born into. It just is what it is. And for those people, what do? You just like leave them be, destitute, struggling. Or do you try and help them out if some people have amassed all the wealth through luck, through flipping, you know, family or whatever it may be? Maybe there's some way to kind of work it out. I'm not too sure what the solution is, but this idea that everybody can achieve everything is just really insane. And it's also funny that it's coupled with the idea of him not wanting to share any of his stuff. Any of his money. He's like, no. We're not redistributing my money. No way, Jose. This is all mine. It's really funny. This is all mine. Hey, big up Austin Casey. Thank you for $10.
He is important. Don't you realize there are only 1,000 comedians in the entire world? The rest of the population are lowly pedestrians.
Exactly. There's only 1,000 of them. Only 1,000 of them. Oh, actually, didn't Bert Kreischer say that in that clip? Let me actually get it up. Bert Kreischer said it in a clip. He said it in that clip about in regular life you don't laugh or something. I'm sure I had it there. Where was it? Where was it? Here it is, right? Is it there? No, it's not there. Is it that one? Is this one? No, isn't that? Is that one? No, isn't. No. Maybe it's here. He's like, oh, in regular life, sometimes you don't laugh. I'm like, what? Yeah, I think it's in this clip. With the guys from fucking Barstool Sports. He's like, regular people don't laugh. Let's play a clip.
Try to find the upside. Maybe his mom's like, oh, he's been a bad shot his whole life. And I started laughing.
No. What? So unless you go to a comedy club, you don't laugh a lot. Only comedians, only the 1,000 special ones out there make you laugh. Not some random person that you bump into at the store, random person you bump into at the gas station, random thing you see on the street, something your colleague tells you, something your mum texts you, something your sibling says to you. No, only the comedians on stage in these comedy clubs with fake brick wall backgrounds are the ones that make you laugh. Only those guys humping stools, right? Giving fellatio to fucking bottles of flipping Bud Light, taking off their very, very thin t-shirts that have got sweat stains on them, right? And exposing their beer guts to you. Only those guys are the ones who make you laugh. Only those guys. Exactly. My fucking cat makes me laugh. Exactly. Like what? Like listen to this guy. Listen to this. Oh, whatever, dude. It's like honestly. Oh, I fucking love it. If you don't go to comedy clubs, you don't laugh. Okay, cool, man. Cool. Good to know. Cool story. Don't tell it again. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking legend. Moving on from that one. Let's go to this. Where is it? Oh, can I find it here? Where is it? Not that one. Oh, there it is here. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's watch this. This is courtesy of comedy. Was it Comedy Enforcement? I think that's that Asian dude, right? All right, let's see what I have to say. I'm not sure if he's Asian. He might be Hispanic. I'm not too sure. Maybe he's Mediterranean. Who knows? The guy who fucking hates Kalila. He made a clip regarding Whitney Cummings' recent appearance on Andrew Schultz's podcast on Flagrant, titled "The Most Intense Podcast in Flagrant History." Let's see what he has to say here. I'm interested to see his perspective on this because he seems to have an issue with the ladies in stand-up comedy. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, big up Austin Casey. Thank you for the $5.
OBTW, I went to see Rogan's comedy show on his Sacred Clown tour. And Hans Kim opened up for him and he was absolutely terrible.
Ah, Austin Casey, thank you for the info. I actually asked this before on the stream. I did ask a few of you, like, what's the deal with this flipping Hans Kim guy? Because he loves this guy. He's always talking about him on a podcast. He's always on tour with him. And I got the feeling just looking at him, again, this is probably bad to say this, but just looking at the dude, I thought, this guy's not going to be funny. It's either going to be something like weird, like he just like screams on the microphone, like, Arr! He does something, like he's got like, he looks like a hack. He looks like he's got something that he does. Maybe he talks really fast. Maybe he sweats on purpose. Like there's something that he does on stage that I wouldn't like. But then people, Rogan keeps talking, hyping him up. So it's good to know that my spidey sense was right. And I was thinking, nah, this guy doesn't look like he's funny. He looks like one of those guys that does something like, yeah, he's professional, but his jokes ain't that funny. Okay, cool. So he's just a machine. He basically sits down every day and writes for like 5 hours a day and tries to make 50 fucking comedy bits every day. That goes on stage. Methodical approach kind of. That's probably why Rogan likes him, because Rogan's the same. Anyway, let's check this video out from the Comedy Enforcement regarding Whitney Cummings and Andrew Schulz. It's here, as you can see. Comedy Enforcement channel. Check them out. I'm never coming back. Let's see what he has to say.
You come in and you tell me that you're lying about something.
What's going on? Are you shooting?
I need to get to the bottom of it.
Are you shooting blanks? Why are you such a grump?
Yes. How am I grumpy?
You have some rage at me, Andrew. This is a new kind of rage.
This is a good defense.
Do you think people really have an issue with nepotism, or they have an issue with themselves just not getting a role?
Hollywood's never been like fair. Why should it be?
That's
I mean,
thing.
it's like neither sports.
Now
like,
this is a wild take that the guys don't really appreciate.
Big up Lenny Gambino.
Big ups the stream. Fan from Aussie.
Yes, big up Lenny Gambino. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Big up the stream. Big up you. I appreciate you.
I think it's sorry. Can I say something about
No,
Nepo Babies?
I was in the middle of a sentence.
I know, but if we're moving on.
But we're not moving on.
But
it's about this. It's about this. The Nepo Babies parent.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I laughed at this when it happened, and obviously, I made a clip of it, laughing at this. Looking back, that was really lame, and I kind of feel bad for Whitney. That's really lame. I'm sure there's a reason to it. They're probably friends. They probably had some argument before that carried over into the pod. This is what they do behind the scenes. There's a reason for it. But I just think when you're friends with somebody, you don't embarrass them like this on your streaming shit when you know you're gonna get clipped, people are gonna see. Like it was a bit much, innit? Like I didn't like it. Whitney's got her issues, she can be annoying, but she didn't deserve that. I think that's a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all agree that the Flagrant podcast has now gained a reputation for being the show that has no limits and is willing to put their own guests through some very uncomfortable situations. And although Andrew Schulz has been receiving a lot of criticism because of that recently, the show has been completely killing it and the numbers are through the roof. However, their most recent episode with comedian Whitney Cummings has to be by far the toughest episode to watch. The first part of the podcast is them going at each other to the point where it gets a little bit personal, and although it's funny, there's definitely some weird energy going on between them that caused this whole thing. And the second part is no better, as Andrew Schulz tries to turn it into a cringe therapy session that doesn't go well for him. And the interesting thing is that a lot of their own fans were not happy with the episode. So with that being said, let's get started.
Don't do the
By the way, am I the only person that doesn't understand why everyone's running to the easy conclusion that they're fucking? I don't buy that. They're just probably really good friends, and they probably bust each other's balls a lot. And sometimes when you bust each other's balls a lot when you're friends, you can sometimes cross the line. And, you know, you can sometimes take a joke too far. Why does everybody just assume they're fucking? That's too easy of a conclusion, in my opinion. And I also don't think they would be, especially Andrew, he just recently married. I don't think he'd be dumb enough to, you know, be cheating and also be cheating like with the comedian like Whitney that's in the seat. It's just too close to home. It wouldn't make any sense in my regard. It just seems like two good friends who are too close to each other. I mean Andrew Schulz and Whitney Cummings. I don't think they're fucking, personally. I don't think so. People are saying that's what's happening. There's a lot of basically some people are saying, I saw on the subreddit, on the flagrant subreddit, some people were saying that it feels like Schulz was doing that thing that guys do, where if you hook up with a girl, or no, so if you recently get into a relationship, like a marriage or you had a girlfriend, sometimes guys will go overboard, like negging girls that used to fuck in the knowing that the girl's gonna be there. I'm not explaining it properly. Some people are saying, let me explain it properly, right? That Andrew Schulz was trying too hard to prove that he didn't fuck Whitney by being extra rude to her on the pod. And it's like a thing that some guys do where you try to make it seem like you didn't fuck by acting super, super aggressive or being super annoying or going too far with jokes because clearly you're not interested. It's like a super version of negging. It's like negging times 100 to prove that nothing happened before so that you don't get in trouble when you go back home. But then in the process, you hurt your friend's feelings. I'm not too sure, but I don't buy it. I don't think they were fucking.
The golden retriever outside the car window on the highway face. Let's just talk to each other.
I love that you just called me a dog and like that was like, let's not pretend that you have become a complete fucking dork. I listened to your last episode where you guys were like, oh, we're talking about why women are more admitted into college more and that men don't. Who gives? When did you guys become such dorks? Who cares?
Can I say objectively speaking?
Sure.
You are annoying. No. Objectively speaking, I said that I think you're in great shape. Your biological age has got to be at least. I got upset because you're obviously. Are you in a relationship? What's going on? Why do you look at me with these faces like it's difficult?
She can't control that.
Is listening hard for you? This is what it looks like when you're listening. This is you listening, right? This is you. I'm not talking. What do I do with my face while the other people talk?
She's been hanging out with the Whitney robot too long. That's what it is.
The problem.
So right away they start taking shots at each other and making some funny jokes. And if you're familiar with Whitney, you know that she has this high energy, fast talking personality.
So what is this guy? He's not Asian. What is he? Is he Mexican or something? Is he Hispanic? Latino? What is he meant to be? Did I get that fucked up? Is he not Greek? Is his name not Costas? What's this guy then? What is he? Somebody tell me the shit. What do you think this guy is from? He's Dutch. No way, is he Dutch? He sounds American. Maybe he's from Botswana. Maybe he's Korean. He's Mexican. He's Afghani. He's Iran. Look at he's from Minnesota. He's Latino. No, he ain't. He's not Latino. No way. Is he Latino? Okay, fair enough. He looks like he looks like he could be Bangladeshi. Kinda. I know a lot of exactly. He looks a little bit Bengali to me. He's got a little bit of Bengaliisms on him. A little bit of Tism Bengali. A little bit, no? The brother, but he might have some Mexican friends. He may be a Bengali guy that likes Mexican culture. Maybe his wife is Mexican, but he's Bengali. You know how it is, SA? You know how it is. Maybe, you know? That could be the case. You never know.
All the time. And Andrew Schulz, on the other hand, you could tell that he had a little bit too many cups of coffee in the morning and was trying to match that energy. Sure, you could say that they're just friends and that's how comedians talk to each other, but it feels pretty personal at some points. For example, when Whitney makes the joke that Andrew Schulz got married at the wrong time, It's pretty funny.
Stop being angry because you got married at the wrong time.
I got married at the right time. My biological age is 64.
Whoa. Oh, good little zinger there from Whitney Cummings. Good one, girl.
Okay, I have 20 more good years on this earth. I get married now.
By the way,
And you could tell that it rubs them the wrong way because although it's probably not true, and Andrew Schulz is most likely happy with his wife, with his current wife.
Hey, yo, big up, sorry to tell. Oh,
I think Andrew is going through a medicine adjustment.
Medicine adjustment. Big up. Thank you for the $20 super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Really do. Thank you. Medicine adjustment. I don't get that feeling from Andrew. Andrew doesn't strike me like a druggie or like a party boy, really. I get the feeling that Andrew is the kind of person that would suck his own dick. Like he legitimately gets off on being great. Like he loves it. He's always had delusions of grandeur about himself, and now he's finally achieved these dreams. He's gonna become a monster. So if you don't like Andrew Schulz now, just wait for the next 5 years, 10 years, when he becomes more successful. He's gonna be worse than you've ever imagined if you don't like him. He's the kind of guy that kind of enjoys. He loves it. Like he just enjoys like success and fame and statistics and like he's like, you know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. So I get the feeling he gets high off of seeing the view counts of his videos. He doesn't get high off sniffing things, you know? Like he's that kind of guy. He gets high off like, oh, like, it's got the Netflix contract through and it's like 10 million. You know, he kind of gets high off that, like, go back to them and say I want 20. Like that kind of shit, you know? That kind of Patrick Bateman type of vibe, right? He gets high off the negotiation, the deal, the hunt for the deal. And maybe after that he kind of gets depressed, but he's that kind of dude. But he definitely, if he could suck his own dick, he would suck it hard.
It's there's some truth behind it, and it's pretty funny because Andrew did get married right before his entire career completely blew up, right after he dropped a special and had that episode with Joe Rogan in the new studio.
You know, like being a stand-up as a woman, it's not a business. It's not a viable.
Yeah. Can you tell us how hard it is? Like,
I'm not saying it's hard.
Tell us how hard it is to be a female comic. Like that's what we love to listen to.
I'm saying.
Oh, this is wild, bro.
I think it's hard to be
so tough on the road.
No, it's not what I said. What are you
guys
doing?
Trying to tell you to go back to the hotel.
No,
This is so different than being a woman anywhere else in life. Listen, it's tough being a female comic.
Is this like the new Adderall? Is this like the new
Adderall?
Is this
Adderall? I
feel like you got a wonky batch.
No, I'm on 3-0.
Whitney's pretty good. Whitney can handle us. Whitney's actually a pretty good hang. She's a bit nuts, but she's pretty good hang. She can take it, but she can also give it back. Whitney's pretty good sport because I think a lot of people would have maybe walked out. She's pretty good. She's a pretty good hang. And she's giving it back because I think that's why he's coming quite hard at her, because a lot of stuff she's particularly said kind of hit home. But Whitney's a lot sharper than I give her credit for. Like she's hitting him where it hurts. Like, let's be real. Whitney's hitting him. That's probably why he's getting so emotional and kind of like, you know, trying to get at her really hard. Like Whitney's really getting him on skates.
You know, LAPD, I mean, their whole thing is like, you don't really need, like, you know, a BB gun I have loaded, but if you have a gun, like that solves half of your problems.
I feel like you're having 4 different conversations with yourself right now.
You know what? First of all, how dare you? I came in here, I'm being attacked by you motherfuckers.
Attacked? You sat down, you said I went high.
Imagine Akash trying to join in. Akash is like super cringe and embarrassing, but he's also an example of what you should do if your friend is Andrew Schulz. If your friend is the star and he's the money earner, you've got to do everything in your power to look after the money earner. Like Callen's a little bit, you know, he's obviously spineless. You know, he has no principles, no morals. He goes where the bag is. He's with Crowder. He's trying to get back into Rogan's good graces. He's trying to reignite the flipping Crystalia friendship. And he's also with Brendan. But, you know, he sucks him off a little bit, but still, he's kind of, you know, he's always keeping his eye open. If there's a better opportunity, he goes somewhere else. But Akash, he definitely is giving you a crash course of what you should be doing if your friend is Andrew Schulz. You suck him off. You defend him until the end. At every occasion, you defend the money. You look after the star. You make sure he knows that you're defending him. You flipping ride for that guy all the time. Look at him jumping in there, little weasel. It's like he's slicing it. It's like, look at it. That haircut is fucking trouble, man. That haircut is trouble.
Saying he touched
Dating a
you.
girl?
Yeah, I mean, it's like
You know what that
my
proves
mom
to me,
just died.
honestly?
Yeah.
Don't do the mom died thing and now we got to feel bad.
But I don't. Why you did that? I feel
Don't
great about
do
it.
that.
It's a relief. I'm
Don't
glad my
do
mom
that.
died. She was a hate. She was a. It was not. Didn't love me much.
Welcome, yo.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome
My
to
mom
the
was-
club,
my
yo.
mom-
At this point, they're both ramping up the jokes and getting a little bit more personal, and Whitney is still there trading blows with Schulz. And something interesting to point out is that even though Whitney Cummings is not the funniest stand-up comedian, at least in my opinion, she is still a...
This nigga hates women, innit? He hates Kalila. He thinks Whitney Cummings to stand up is shit. This guy's got a thing against the ladies. This guy's got a thing against the ladies. He fucking hates Kalila's guts. He hates Whitney. He does. This Bengali Mexican hates the women, mate. Hates them.
a funny person, and she's a good writer. I mean, she's written for shows and for actual roast shows. So she's good at what she does, and that translates well on podcasts. And as the show went on, Whitney realized that they were trying to be super edgy, which is when she decided to drop her first tactical nuke. By the way, if you like what you see so far, please make sure to hit the like button. It helps out so much to push the video to more people, and it helps out the channel. So I really appreciate that. Thanks.
And then I was like just attracted to such more like extreme, like intense people. Like
Just because you asked the middle of the pod or the middle of the fucking episode, I'm gonna dislike. Just because you did that. I'm sorry. It drives me crazy people do that in the middle of the video. Ask at the beginning, ask at the end, not in the fucking middle. Just annoying.
addicts, like motorcycles, shit
Veterinarians?
Like that.
When did you get
He
on?
was a rock climber too. He was a rock climber
Don't
too.
do that. Don't you dare do that. It's not a rock climber in the 1700s when we didn't have cables and shit.
What's going on? Did
I need to know what's going on. You come on here, you say you're a big old bull dyke out of the nowhere.
Hold on. I'm not a bull dyke.
Come on.
What did Emma take down your Die Hard poster? What's going on? What's going on at home, Andrew?
You come in.
What's going on at home?
That was good. Yo, give Whitney some credit. Give Whitney some credit. She is going blow for blow, bar for bar. She's in this room 4 against 1, right? You know, you got fucking Schultz's Chuckle Brothers along the side, egging him on. She's backed into a corner and she's fucking going for it. Big up Whitney, man. Big up Whitney.
You come in and you tell me that you're lying about something.
What's going on?
Are you shooting? I need to get to the bottom of it.
Are you shooting blanks? Why are you such a grump?
Yes. How am I grumpy?
You have some rage at me, Andrew. This is a new kind of rage.
This is a good defensive strategy. You come in here.
Are you shooting blanks? He looks like the kind of guy that's shooting blanks, isn't it? Not to be that kind of guy, and apologies to all my man them out there that shoot blanks. You know, I'm the type of guy. If I look at a girl too long, you pregnant. You know, I'm that kind of guy. You want a baby? There you go. Have it.
You accuse it. This is gaslighting. This is gaslighting. Do you learn?
And here's the thing. The joke about shooting blanks is pretty savage and pretty ruthless for multiple reasons. For example, it was either that Andrew Schulz told her something in private, in a private conversation, and she actually used it against him in public to blast him, or maybe she was actually making an assumption that the reason why he was behaving that way towards her was because he couldn't have babies and was having problems at home. And you might think that's going a little bit too far, but to be fair, he did call her objectively annoying at the beginning. And I know that's a minor insult, but that is something that a lot of people say about her online. So it would be like saying to Brendan Schaub's face, hey, I find you objectively not funny.
I got a lot of lectures from Andrew. Hollywood's dead. The movie business is dead. It's over. Until he starts getting offers to be in movies, in which case it's not dead. I'll move anything around to go to Atlanta for 2 hours to wait in a trailer for 5 minutes of screen time. So now he used to be like cool. Like now he went into Hollywood where everything is like all backwards, and whack. And now all of a sudden he's like, I'm Hollywood guy. Like,
listen. You're right.
By the way, but then
you're right. I did it. I found
he's
a
Hollywood
way.
guy, but every movie he shoots is like in Canada, Calgary. Like, where's this shit coming out, dude?
Yo, Whitney is fucking lighting him up. As Brendan would say, Whitney is lighting him up.
Is this shit for Tubi? Like,
yes!
No, it isn't.
Yes. Well, kind of. Tubi got the rights to it. Yeah.
You know, in the green room, in the hallway, and now it's like, save it for the pod. Like, we're monetizing all of our conversations, like, for public consumption, which is great. It's healing a lot of people. People love it. Can I finish before you roll your eyes? Can I finish before you roll your eyes? So maybe it's more of an LA thing because of the number of comics that commit suicide, you know? And it's like, after, this will make me cry, after losing Brody.
Now, I hate to say this, but Whitney actually has a good point here. Ever since the new studio and ever since the special dropped, Andrew Schulz has definitely changed. I still enjoy the podcast, but it's very noticeable. He flip-flops so many times with things so simple as, you know, saying that Netflix is dead and that he doesn't like them, and then working with them to something more serious, a little bit more serious, like the way that he handled his new special. He sold the whole thing as him having a special and material that was so edgy and so insane that he couldn't just release it out to the streamers like, you know, Amazon or whatever. Content a few months.
Listen, I can't do this. You went activist first.
That's pretty good.
Remember,
when was I an activist?
Remember when you would call me and be like, dude, they totally think I give a about animals. And we would have these calls. Do you remember that? Like, oh, giraffes. Oh, no. What a stupid fucking animal. I don't get it. You would call me just laughing and mocking these people. Remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't care about it. You dated a veterinarian.
What is going on?
You dated a veterinarian. Stop doing it. You're doing it again.
But there's
every time you're in a corner. You project. Can we talk about you and the animals?
Sure, yeah.
At this point of the podcast, Schulz and Whitney have already gone at each other and screamed at each other for like 40 to 50 minutes. And even Akash was just agreeing with everything, every single thing that Andrew was saying, and even getting some shots in whenever he could. However, this is when things start to change and the podcast gets a little bit weird. About an hour into the podcast, you can tell that Andrew is visibly tired and his mood has completely changed from, you know, compared to the first hour of the podcast where he was full of energy. Obviously, Whitney picks up on this and calls him out and tells him that his energy has died down because Whitney made a comment saying that she thought she was in a comedy podcast, so she was just kidding, and then literally left Andrew Schulz speechless. Like, he didn't say anything else. And after that moment is when he completely changes and tries to make the entire thing into a therapy podcast.
No, you're going down the hill, but you're in a speed wobble.
Mm-hmm.
So we all just need to take a moment.
But I think you actually just slowed down.
You take a moment.
We were at the same pace, and then you got tired. You got tied.
You think I got tired?
Well,
Not at all.
You wore yourself out.
Wow. Akash was cock munching, like drive-by cocksuck. Have you ever seen that in a war? Have you ever seen that? Have you guys ever seen a drive-by cocksuck? That was amazing. He did a little drive-by cocksuck. Look.
Pace, and then you got tired. You got tied.
You think I got tired?
Well,
Not at all.
You wore yourself out.
Have you ever seen a drive-by cocksuck? That was amazing. A little drive-by one.
Pace, and then you got tired. You got tied.
You think I got tired?
Well,
Not at all.
You wore yourself.
That was amazing. Akash was talking. Don't you find it interesting? All the lap boys of these fucking comedians, BGL behind the bush, Akash in front of a bush. There's something going on with bushes and these flipping comedian lapdogs, isn't it? They're always around bushes. Him going in front of one, BGL hiding behind one, holding a glass of whiskey. That has to go down as one of BGL's most embarrassing moments ever, isn't it, right? Does somebody have it actually on the flipping? Someone must have a picture of that. BGL, whiskey, bush. Somebody must have that. Yes, of course they do. Look at that. Look at the images. God bless Google. This has to be one of the most embarrassing pictures of all time. This has to go down in the freaking Hall of Fame. Look at him. He's in another direction in another conversation. And Mark Harley, BGL's got the glass in his hand, the tumbler, the flipping, it's flipping covered in ice and shit. He's trying to get Brendan's attention, but it's a live stream, so he can't whisper, you can't tap him. He just has to like hold the glass there, hoping Brendan flipping turns around. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. And look, next to a fucking Black Bush whiskey. Big up Bushmills. Bushmills whiskey, right? Next to an actual flipping bush animal. Oh shit. One of the most embarrassing things you could ever do, man. It's bad enough being a social media manager anyway. I've been one in my life, right? I've been one. Then you're a fucking 40-year-old social media manager. Then you're a social media manager at 40 years old for fucking Brendan Schaub. And then you're having to sit there and fucking hand him a glass of whiskey through fake bushes. Oh, I fucking love it. Anyway, where is it? Where's that video?
Yourself out. And now...
Is there another option maybe?
You decided to switch gears.
What do you think another option
But
is?
no, I was just thinking in terms of it. You're being
Stop.
on this...
Stop.
I want to give you a big hug.
Stop.
Why is everyone...
Why are you guys doing this?
Stop. What?
You're going to get her in her
Can
head.
you say something?
No.
Do you see what's happening?
Listen. Can I just take this? Can I just take this?
Sure.
Can I say? Okay.
Yeah.
But me slowing down is not a function of me being tired of you or anything.
I was
like
just
that.
joking.
Okay.
I thought that's what we did here. Just trying to make sure the comments aren't too savage.
No, I just wanted to slow down the pace so that you would feel comfortable.
And you can tell that comment got to him because he tried to spin the whole thing around and make it seem as if he
That's gaslighting, isn't it? That's fucking gaslighting.
was changing the pace. Okay. Didn't
with
why should it
themselves just not getting a role?
Hollywood's never been like fair. Why should it be?
Well, that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
it's like neither
Okay.
sports.
Now
Like,
this is a wild take that the guys don't really appreciate.
I think it's sorry. Can I say something about
No,
Nepo
I
babies?
was in the middle of a sentence.
I know, but if we're
I
moving
know,
on-
but we're not moving on.
But
It's about
do-
this. It's
okay.
about this. The Nepo babies' parents, right? Despite all those things that could interrupt your ability to be loved.
I'm sorry, man, but there is nothing in the world that would make me want to put myself through this kind of punishment. Whitney deserved better. You can't ask somebody a question and then interrupt their question to ask another question. That's Brendan Schaub's school of fucking journalism. Like, that's horrible. Let her answer a question. Let her finish her thought. She deserved better than that. She can be annoying, cool, but she deserved better than that. She came into that pod, 4 guys attacking her, a Kaush doing fucking drive-by cocksucks, Alex, the other black guy, not wanting to be involved because he knows where his bread's buttered, the guy in the middle, fucking, giggling along. She deserved better than that, man. That was awful. I'm not really a fan of that. But anyway, big up comedy enforcement. Don't do plugs in the middle of your fucking video again, or I'm gonna keep downvoting them. So, but big up him. Thank you for putting that together. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Oh, appreciate you, King. Appreciate you. Oh, moving on from that one. Let's do this. Wait, let me see what else I'm going to speak about here. Not that one. I spoke about that already. Oh yes, play this. Let's play this. Have you guys seen this? Where is it? Yeah, this is fucking amazing. Exactly. He's making a video about you. Yeah, let him make a video about me. So, it's kind of like there's this black guy who I think he may be African, but he said he's from the UK. I'm not sure if there's a UK in Africa. So there was a situation where he said I do this video and I have these plugs in the middle of the video. Actually, guys, if you're enjoying the content and you like what you see, maybe give me a thumbs up down below. I say, you know, fuck off. Anyway, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, man. I'll get Kalila to write a diss song against him or something. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see this. Let's see this. Let's see this. Have you guys seen this? This is one of the best things ever, because I think we all had the same feeling before when we've been on the plane. This guy is absolutely amazing. Big up this absolute legend of a guy, man. Salute to you, wherever you are. Hopefully you're out of jail.
Pattern for weather, and an SW, a passenger loses his mind over a baby.
That child has been crying for 40 minutes.
If you're not seeing this and you're watching this or you're listening to this via the podcast, this is a guy. There's a guy on a plane hearing a baby screaming, and he's fucking screaming at the baby or the parent or anybody that's listening, and he is mad. And legitimately, this rant is one of the best rants I've ever heard in my entire life, because we've all felt like this when we've been sitting in a plane, but we're too polite or we're too pussy to say anything. We're too scared. We don't want to get chucked off the plane. But this guy is our spirit animal. He is my spirit animal. He's our
Lower
spirit
that, and you can't put your fucking finger in my face like that. Calm the child down, please. I had headphones on. I was sleeping. Why is the baby yelling? I'm not screaming. You want me to scream? You want me to scream? Don't fucking scream. Please stop the baby. Please. Bro, please. If that child was a black baby, what the fuck would be happening right now? Yo, I know.
You hear him? If that child was a black baby, this wouldn't be happening. I feel bad for fucking playing into the race card with fucking Jonathan Majors, and this guy is saying if that was a black toddler, they would have what? Chucked the baby off the plane. Like, what's he trying to say? What the fuck is he talking about? He's saying the baby has privileges because it's white. And that's why he's screaming. I don't know. Exactly. Black babies don't cry. They go through enough pain day to day, innit? They don't cry. Oh. To be fair though, when I was younger, my parents they don't really indulge you in letting you cry. You know what I mean? They beat the cry out of you, so maybe that's what he means. But oh my god, it's amazing.
You're not going there. You're not going there. I'm fucking going there. We're not in Florida yet. We need to call. You can't do what the fuck you feel like. Fuck. I was asleep the whole time. You haven't served me anything. Now,
I try to keep my calm, but if I wasn't
Now he's complaining about not getting water. I love this guy.
on this plane,
because there's a child crying on the flight, non-fucking stop. That's what's happening. Can you lower that voice? No, that's not. No.
It's funny because he's screaming at the baby to shut the fuck up. And then the baby's now scared and screaming even more. The baby's scared for his life. So the baby's crying. Oh, Mommy, this black man wants to eat me.
No. Let's be rational. Hold on. You want to be rational? No. Don't tell me what the fuck I need to do. Let's be rational. We are in a fucking tin.
And that's his wife next to him. Look at the wife. She is distraught. She is tired. She's exhausted. She is at the end of her tether. She's done. That's an exasperated wife there. The wife can't do nothing. The guy's already turned up.
can with a baby in a goddamn echo chamber, and you want to talk to me about being fucking okay?
Okay, because you're yelling.
So is the baby.
Okay, so you're a man.
Did that motherfucker pay extra to yell?
Okay, so
That exchange. You're yelling, so is the baby. Did that motherfucker pay more to yell? Good point, sir. Good point. Oh my god, my fucking face. I swear to God. How does it work out anyway with babies when you fly? Do they get a reduced fee? Or is it the same price ticket? To be fair, my hot take is taking a kid under 10 on a flight is a form of child abuse. Checking a child under 10 years old on an airplane is a form of child abuse. That's my hot take. I swear to God, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. If you need to go on a flight, the kid stays at home, Home Alone style. Figure it out. Here's some microwave lasagna. I'll be back in a week.
Oh, fuck you and shut up. You're disturbing me now. I don't give a fuck. You were sitting there watching that motherfucking baby cry for 45 fucking years. That shit didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Lower your voice. Fuck, lower that baby's voice.
Lower your voice. Lower that baby's voice. Nah, Natashki, I don't hate kids. I just think they should be. I don't hate kids. I just think they should be. There's a time and a place. I don't hate kids. I think there's a time and a place. Anyway. This guy's amazing. I love him.
Okay. It's out there. We'll have. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
The wife. Look at the wife.
I'm triggered. Fuck that.
I'm triggered. Fuck that.
Baby. They put cuffs on that kid. I'm good with going to jail.
No, ain't nobody put no cuffs on the child.
Fuck the kid. It's the same.
child.
The kid made. Yes, you are motherfucking right because nobody was going to do
talk to somebody in full
That's
body.
fine. That's fine. I'll
Okay, the baby won't be talking to you. You'll have somebody to talk to.
Good. Good.
I just want to know, right? We have some people in the UK also. Usually, the issue that we have a lot here on flights is usually people that drink too much. Because for some reason, you know, I'm sure it happens in where you are at. Our airports have fucking, you know, pubs inside of them. And you could have a beer basically 24 hours around the clock if you want to. And they're always full before flights. And especially when they're going on, you know, a lot of people in the UK here go on like low-cost flights to Europe, parts of Europe and stuff, to go and have, you know, more booze and more drugs and whatever. So people usually get drunk or high a lot. But usually people try and keep their antisocial behavior or craziness to a level because they don't want to get chucked off the plane. But I see so many videos of American people like happy to get into arguments at the airport or on airplanes, knowing that the consequences are quite harsh. You could get arrested, you could get blacklisted, like, you know, you have to book another flight. Like, these are like pretty harsh flipping consequences of you having get into an argument with a flight attendant. Why are these guys and girls so willing to get into an argument like with flight attendants? Maybe it's a kind of just a pride of like, no, I'm right in what I'm saying. But in the UK, you don't really get that. People get fucked up, don't get me wrong. You get fucked up, you get drunk and stuff, but you try and keep it under wraps. But you're not going to get into an argument with a fucking flight attendant or whatever, or shout at somebody or get into a fight. It doesn't happen that way. What happens here? Honest entitlement. Honestly, that guy is just vocalizing our internal dialogue whenever a kid is screaming. True, exactly, Uche. Emmanuel DeSantis says entitlement. I wonder what it is about Americans where they don't mind getting into arguments. Because legit, I've seen you guys have like fucking, what do you call it? Airport marshal guys. They come like actual officers and arrest you with handcuffs and shit. It's real. You go to jail. Do you know what I mean? It's not a crazy thing. Trick says we don't have trains in America, dog. Not many anyway. Okay, cool. I think everyone's emotions heighten on a plane. We think our freedom travels everywhere with us. Yeah, true. But okay, fair enough. It's just interesting. Like we have a lot of, don't get me wrong, we have our issues too. I can find you many clips. Of people here in the UK who travel on Ryanair and EasyJet and all these kind of low budget flights to Europe, and you see guys fucking cutting up lines and sniffing and shit cocaine on the fucking airplane. You know what I mean? Having parties and playing songs on their fucking phone on loudspeaker. Like, we go a bit crazy on our flights too, so we have our issues. So I'm not talking from a point of privilege.
No good, no fucking problem. I know an attorney just like you, motherfucker. I got rights. Now we work it the fuck out. We had to go through all of that. It's worked out now.
Heading to Orlando now. He's refusing to get off the plane. So now we're all getting deplaned.
To be fair, if that's me, oh, look at the wife. God bless her. Look at the wife, man. So embarrassed. She just wants to die. She wants the ground to just open up right now. God almighty, look at her. To be fair, like, if that's me, right, and I'm fucking, yeah, you're scaring the baby, so it's like you're scaring all the hoes away. If that's me, and I make this fuss, you made your fuss, you made your point, now get off the plane and let everybody continue on. You know what I mean? Making everybody, deplane is a bit crazy. Like, causing everybody delays for your fucking argument. Get into an argument, say your piece, stand on your shit, but then, gracefully, okay, cool. I lost the fight, but the war continues. You just kind of keep it moving. But staying on a plane and refusing to get off, that's a bit much.
You wouldn't be sitting on this motherfucking flight with a kid crying for 45 minutes. It wasn't crying for 45 minutes. Bullshit.
No, that's it. You're not even working anybody's time.
He tried to plead his case that he had a right to yell because there was 2 adults with a crying baby, and he shouldn't have been disturbed.
Imagine a police officer having to deal with this. How many police officers are there? How many police are there? Like 5 police officers. Oh, 5 police officers. Sorry, sir. What happened? Sorry, sir. You what? You got into a fight with a baby? Run that by me again? You got into a fight with a baby. But you don't understand. The baby was screaming. But sir, it's a baby. Yeah, and I paid my ticket like that little bitch did. That little bitch got more rights than me? You're telling me a white baby got more rights than a black man? You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. You think a baby got more rights than me? Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, actually, let's see the end. I forgot to play the end. Let's see the end. The end.
Well, that's probably not how his wife imagined their Florida getaway going.
Okay, so at least he didn't get handcuffed. He gets escorted out of the prison, out of the airport. He's probably get told to cool down, have a coffee, sir, please, and come back tomorrow. So, hella embarrassing. Big up to the wife. I can't imagine how embarrassing that was for her to check out. But oh shit, man! What a fucking legend, honestly. Big up, big up. Let's mention another thing here. Oh, let's see this, isn't it, right? Yeah, have you guys seen this? A teacher pushes a student for trying to enter a classroom. I don't know who would be a teacher nowadays with the way how bad these flipping kids are. Like, it doesn't matter. Inner city, posh area, suburbs. Kids are fucking annoying, especially teenagers. Like, I can't imagine. Like, unless it's a calling and you legitimately love teaching, I don't know what will possess you to be a teacher. Unless you literally needed the money also. Because, having to deal with kids, taking their phones off of them, getting into, like, I can't imagine it, man. It must be a horror. But let's see what happens here between this kid and this teacher. What happens here?
No, got one over. Let go, my dog!
Whoa! Did he chest bump the girl? Did the teacher chest bump the little girl? Fucking hell. Holy shit.
Whoa, yeah, you going to jail, nigga? Yeah, you going to jail, bro. What the hell? Yo, he going to jail. What the fuck? That nigga just pissed the shit out her.
Yo, he pushed her with his belly. That is wild. Do you see that?
Oh my God!
Whoa, yeah, you going to jail, nigga? Yeah, you going to jail, bro. What the hell? Yo, he going to jail. What the fuck? That nigga just pissed the shit out her. He just pushed the hell out that girl. Mr. Bowman. Yeah, but I was playing with her and this nigga was screaming at her and shit.
She did nothing. She did nothing wrong.
I don't even play like what the fuck you pushing for? But she didn't do that to his ass.
Bust your gun, girl. Bust your gun. Go back home, pick up the strap, bust your gun. Take that teacher's head off. Fuck it. You're getting expelled anyway. You might as well go out with a bang, literally. Pick up the strap. Fuck it. Pick up the strap. Fuck it. Pick up the fucking strap. If there's one place that I'm picking up the strap, because I've worked in bars, I've worked in cafes, I've worked in some damn bad places. Like I did that thing where you fucking, ask people for surveys, right? You go around the flipping town square. Hey, would you like to take part in a survey? And people do, people put their middle finger up at you. And if you get enough signatures, no, I think your base pay is like £50, but if you get more signatures, you get like a certain amount on top. I've done some horrible jobs. But if ever I was working in a flipping diner like this and some scallywags decided to get crazy with me like this in a place like that, I'm pulling at the strap. I'm going to jail or to prison, right? Somebody's mother's dying. Somebody's mother's crying, sorry. Somebody is dying, but I am not about to have somebody hit me over the head with a chair whilst I'm frying your fucking burgers. I swear to God. If I worked at a fucking deli or Wendy's or whatever these places are and somebody tries to jump over the counter, I'm pulling out the strap. I'm pulling out the strap. Because come on, what would drive someone to do this? We serve burgers, we serve shakes, we serve fries, we have chili cheese bites, we got some nuggets, we might have a salad if you're feeling a little bit, healthy. We got wraps. That's all we do. Did we fuck up your order? Did we forget to include the cheese? Did we not give you the correct sauce or the correct flipping, veggies or whatever? Just let us know. Just say, hey, my friend, you forgot the chips. You forgot the fries. You forgot the this. You forgot the that. There's nothing that should make you want to jump over the counter or start throwing projectiles at me. You throw a projectile at me, I'm pulling at the strap. They jump over the counter. Now they're throwing chairs, throwing bottles, bins, chairs. And look at that poor old COVID plastic screen. What did that plastic screen do to anybody? What did that plastic COVID screen do to anybody? That COVID plastic spit screen, virus screen is getting absolutely abused for nothing. Of course, she twerks. Of course. You don't get me my fries. You don't give me my double cheeseburger on time. I jump on your counter and I start twerking. Yeah, that's going to tell me, you twerk in front of me, I'm shooting you in one of your arse cheeks. You're not going to stand up anymore. You won't be walking. Now she's trying to break a perspex or plastic screen, I guess. Makes sense? Hits her. She can't jump. She can't jump back over the counter. Look at her. She can't jump back over the counter. She gets there? All of this for what? All of this for what? Because I didn't give you ketchup or extra mayo, or you have to pay for the extra mayo or something. Jesus Christ. Was she picking up a phone? Anyway, like I said, if I'm working at these places and someone does that to me and jumps over the counter, I'm willing to lose my freedom and my job. That's what I'm saying. Don't disrespect me in my workplace. Leave me the fuck alone. If you're missing something and you need some extra ketchup, just say, hey, mister, hey, Nignog, give me the extra ketchup, please. And I'll get it for you. Even with a racial slur. I don't care, but don't jump over my counter, okay? Or we're gonna have issues. That's all I'm saying, all right? That's all I'm saying. Don't jump over my fucking counter. What else we want to talk about here? We did that. We did this. We did that. Let's tune into. What else we want to talk about here? Let's tune into. We did this Stuff Island. No, we did that. What is that one? Bear with me a second. I'll try and get this up on. Oh, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
Had a great.
Yeah, this is working. This is a funny clip. Have you seen this? Big up the Friday Conservative. Some guy upload this. Big up Mad Sheebs for uploading this. This is a really cool clip from Kill Tony. I think I've seen this before actually, but I wanted to replay again just in case you guys haven't seen it. This is another illustration for me that we sort of probably should have paid attention to but when it actually happened. But this is another indication that Brendan Schaub and Joe Rogan's relationship isn't what it once was, because I don't think if this happened pre-Callen getting accused of rape, if this would have happened, I don't think Rogan would have reacted the way he reacted here. This is pre-Bryan Callen rape allegations, pre-Brendan saying, you know, bald guys that slang dick. I don't think he reacts this way. But his reaction was quite telling, because it means that he may have watched a couple of videos, he may have checked out a Beige Frequency documentary, and he may have kind of stumbled on Reddit, because he laughed, and I don't think he was meant to laugh.
Had a great time at New Year's.
Yeah, you did. You had a great spot. You did a great stand-up comedy set Saturday night here, sold out, chaos. You were all dressed up.
Felt good.
Yeah.
What'd you rate it? How'd you rate it? On a scale to Brandon Schaub to 10, what'd you rate it?
Joe laughed. He laughed a lot. He laughed and he laughed a lot. That for me is more telling than ever that he laughed, because it gave Tony Hinchcliffe permission to laugh also, because he's scared, right? If Daddy doesn't laugh, then he doesn't laugh. But the fact that Joe laughed gave Tony permission to laugh and to also add to the joke.
For a guy that's been doing it, how long you been doing this? 5 months?
5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
I will say it was. I give it 4 Brendan Schaub.
There we go, baby.
Brutal. Oh, fucking brutal, man. It's absolutely commendable that he actually keeps doing it, to be fair. considering all of the flipping stick he gets and the fact that his own friends don't respect him. It's absolutely wild that he still continues. But hey, the guy's a fucking trooper. The guy's a fucking trooper. Actually, going on that, hasn't he got something uploaded recently? Let me check his Instagram. Oh no, his Twitter actually. There's a clip here that I saw that he uploaded recently that looks funny. Some sort of thing I saw on the Twitter. Let's see if I can get it up on here. Bear with me a second. Loading up his Twitter account. Blah de blah blah blah. Oh really? Is it? Uche said that guy started the podcast. Is it any good? Is it any good? Is it any good? He looks like a funny chap. He looks like a funny, jovial type of dude. Tried watching it, but it's not the best. Okay, cool. Oh, all right, fair play. Fair play. You can't have it all in it. He probably needs to get in with them a little bit. It's creative, but I wouldn't say it's so good. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'll check it out. I'll check him out. I think his name is something Lazar or something. What's his name? Lazar or something like that. This is in the clip. But let me check this out. Let me check this out. Brendan had something I want to check out. Where is it? It was a clip. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is the one. Some new clip. So it looks like Brendan's got a new flipping. It looks like he's either taking ownership. Uncle Lazar is his name. Cool. It looks like Brendan's either taking ownership of his social media and doing it by himself, or he's hired somebody and is giving him direction on social media stuff, because he's doing a lot more of these little clip things on his, platforms. Strange. Let's see. Maybe this is what Joe's doing. I'm not too sure, but somebody's definitely taken over flipping, what's his name? BGL's position. It feels like. This is a clip taken from Brendan Schaub's Twitter account. The caption says, TFAC K team, fellas, can you take some new pics for the thumbnails or house socials? Bryan, whatever. Okay, cool. Let's see what this clip is saying. What is this? Is it a new comedy bit? Let's see. Let's see. Put this in full screen and let's see what this guy's saying.
I want to show you guys what I got to deal with. So the team goes, hey guys, we want to try some new thumbnails for YouTube for firing the kid. I said, cool, say less. What do you guys need? They go, we need different pictures, happy, sad, shocked. We're going to take a bunch of pictures and we'll be able to put them in the thumbnails. I go, no problem. Hey, Bryan, team needs this. Bryan goes, no problem.
That face has been stung by a bunch of bees, isn't it, right? Thea was right, man. That insult stuck for days, isn't it? Fucking hell, a bunch of bees. Like, God damn it, Brendan.
Bruh.
What is that?
This is the effort that I got. This is, could you put a little more effort in?
Oh, come on, computer.
Into it, B? Do you think you could help us out just a tad? Could you look less like yellow bastard? Huh? Could you put a little effort into it? This is what I get.
Okay. I guess, get the little rain sponsor in there, do a little bit of comedy, make a bit out of your production team asking you for fucking faces. I guess this face is dying out. It's dying for a bit of moisturizer, dying for a facial, dying for some hydration. But hey, I guess at least he's trying something, innit? At least the guy's trying something. But God damn it, he looks absolutely battered. I mean, it's part of the flipping comedian's journey, innit? That's part of the hero's comedian's journey. There's only 1,000 of them. We have to thank them every single day. Every single day we have to thank them. Because if they weren't around, what would we be doing, eh? What would we be doing? What would we be doing? Oh, really? So if you're saying, sadly, his face hair is still better than Schulz. If you had to choose, though, for the exactly. This goes out to the ladies in the chat and anybody else who wants to answer. If you had to choose last men on the earth, Schulz or Brendan, who would you go for? Schulz or Brendan, who would you go for? I'm secure. I think it's a tie. Oh, really? It's a tie for but you have to choose one, Crash. You have to choose one. You have to choose one. One that you sleep with. One that you chill with, hold hands with, have to talk with, smooch with. This is your man. Who would you go for? Shots firing blanks. Brendan has kids. Fair play. Yeah, true. At least Brendan, you can raise a family, right? He's resourceful. He can make sure that you're all looked after. He'll buy you a couple of Birkins. We're repopulating on now. Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, good point. Brendan will give you some kids, at least. Oh, and Brendan actually is a good choice. He'll give you some kids and you protect the hive. You protect the family home, right? With the training and shit. That's actually a good option. Sadly, Brendan, he's at least taller. Yeah, okay, cool. Brendan's, yeah. It's probably an easy choice, actually, come to think of it. Anybody that chooses Schultz is a bit mentally ill. Exactly. I can't be with a weenie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anybody that actually chooses Schultz is a little bit. Something's wrong with you if you choose him. Let's move on from that one. What else we have to talk about here? We did that. We did this. I think what did we do? We did like oh, let's watch about that. Let's do a little bit of academics actually. So DJ Academics for some reason has this ongoing feud with Metro Boomin, the fucking legendary and amazing, what's his name, producer, who's made some of my favorite tracks, especially when it comes to when it comes to Future. But for some reason, Academics doesn't like the guy. They've had a couple of tete-a-tetes, a couple of back and forths on social, and he decided to kind of stick the boot in a little bit because I think Metro Boomin, announced recently that he's going to have an album coming out of Future very soon. And Academics wanted to put the boot in him a little bit. And it got me thinking in general about how comfortable he seems to be with firing shots at people from the comfort of his own home, knowing that it's never gonna get real because he never comes outside or he's never in the places these guys are for anything to happen at all in the slightest. It's just a very interesting way to kind of navigate through life that I kind of wanted to comment on. So this is the video courtesy of King Academics channel itself. Let's quickly play it and then we're gonna continue on with some other bits and bobs. Let's get to the bottom here. There's a start. There we go.
All right, let's just keep it going.
Come on, there you
go. He says, after 10-year journey, it was surreal to perform Coachella in front of 20,000 people with my brother Future. Metro Pluto album on the way. Okay? Now I posted it. Some people said Metro about to send the shooters at this point. Metro don't got no fucking shooters, nigga. Said, Act, don't post that, brother Metro. I promise you, I will go, listen, Metro will not comment on there. He will not comment. He knows. Metro just another one of these niggas you have to check on that type of shit. Metro not even like that. That's the funny part about it. Metro.
You're not like that. Like, what do you think? I like Academics, right? I like him. But I'm also really interested and perturbed by, he must have pretty good security in general, because if it's me, I don't understand why he sounds so like unafraid of how he speaks and talks about these dudes as if they don't have egos or pride or whatever it may be. Like, he speaks with such carelessness about these guys because in his head, he doesn't want them to think he's a pussy, but then he's also not willing to kind of meet them up and scrap. He just wants to say what he wants to say. It's like, you need to relax, brother. Just take it easy. But I also don't blame him because I think I've said it before about me and my fight that I ran away from when I was fucking 16 and how that haunted me for ages. I think because we've seen him on video shaking when the Migos, wanted to, fight Joe Budden that time on that red carpet, and how fucking, what's his name? How that rapper basically said they wanted to slap him in his face and he didn't do nothing. I think those public kind of punkings have kind of like, they're in the back of his brain. So ever since then, he's kind of made it his mission to prove to everybody that he's not a punk. I think so. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Oh yeah, true. Charles Lucas. AZ, this guy drinks 2 liters of, 2 bottles of Henny on stream. Wow, okay, cool. That explains it. Yeah, true, yeah. He's a weirdo. He drinks it straight from the bottle. That's some thug shit, isn't it? That's probably the only thug part about Academics. That he drinks Henny from a bottle. No chaser, no mixer, no glasses, no ice, nothing. Just opens a bottle and just drinking it like he's drinking lemonade.
Metro booming. But anyway, do I want a Metro and Future album? Yeah. Bro, it's not that serious with these niggas. I just tell them like, yo, bro, stop trying to act like you could check me because I know mad stories about y'all niggas getting punked. Y'all niggas, yo, all these rappers, I know mad stories about like them really getting chumped by other niggas who like that.
I don't understand this logic. Just because somebody gets punked by somebody else, that doesn't mean they can't fuck you up. That's internet comment, Reddit flipping comments, right? Just because somebody gets beaten up doesn't mean you can beat them up. They can still fuck you up. So that's a weird logic. Oh, I've seen Metro get punked. I've heard he gets punked by this person. Okay, but he can probably punk you. I don't know. I like Akademiks, but he's either he has a lot of security, a lot of big guns, or he genuinely doesn't leave his house because he speaks with a lot of bass in his voice.
So like I be looking like, yo, why you over here trying to get big with me? Because you know I put out a motto to the people that I'm not tough. Like, yeah, I talk spicy, but everybody know I'm not no street dude.
Yeah, but then you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're not a street dude, talk spicy, and then when people respond or want to meet and fight, you then decide you want to be only the journalist podcaster guy. Because he kind of did that with Blueface. He spoke bad about Blueface. Blueface stepped in, wanted the moment, said let's meet, let's fight, and Akademiks didn't want it. And they decided to, and he did that thing that people do all the time when they're losing an argument. I got more money than you. You're broke. You're bitch. You're that. It's like no. You can't get in the mud with somebody, and then when they want to get really, really muddy, then you suddenly then become, you know, Princess Clean. No. We're in the mud now. Let's have a mud party.
So when I see y'all talking like that to me, I'm like, yo, Metro, nigga, we know you, nigga. You a sensitive nigga. You been hating on Drake. You don't even talk about that. Nigga. If you scared to talk about Drake, you shouldn't be really getting on me. Like, it's no way you think Drake's the ultimate like gang. Like, nigga, you hating on Drake, but you scared to admit it. But you man enough to get in my comment section. Nah, I don't want that type of.
That's how it works. He's probably scared to admit that he doesn't like Drake. If that's the theory, that's true. Because Drake is Drake, but he's not scared enough to come at you because you're Ak. That's how it goes. People pick and choose their opponents. Happens all the time.
Selective politicking. Don't get in my comment section no more. I embarrass you. And now I'm at the point I'm straight up embarrassing you. Get the chick you fucked last weekend, nigga, who you been spilling your guts to. I give her $2,500 because that last Chanel bag you gave her was trash. And I have her spill all the beans on your stupid ass. Yes, in LA at that cheap ass hotel.
Wow.
Because I don't know why you staying there because niggas get lined over there. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, big up Akademiks. He's a fucking wild boy. I swear to God, Akademiks is a wild boy, man. Absolute wild boy. Oh, mate. Let's move on from that one. What's that? Severa Design says, Debate Club, would you rather be the DJ Akademiks or wear thick boy gear for a year? Oh, thick boy gear for a year. I don't want to be fat. Fat is one of my... Nah, no way. Looking the way Akademiks looks with that enlarged chipmunk face. Nah, no way, man. And he's got like zero swag. Like he's one of the only black people I've seen in hip hop who legitimately can't dress for shit. Like he wears like Akademiks is rich, like very, very wealthy. But he wears like mall hip hop clothes. Like, you know what I mean? Like he dresses like one of those he dresses like a mannequin in the mall. You know when they try to make you look hip hop? Like with the shiny, bedazzled hats and the weird hoodies and the side back. Like he looks a mess. So I'd rather wear fucking thick boy for a year. Fuck it. I'll swag out some thick boy, but I'm not being fat and I'm not looking at Akademiks day to day. I refuse. Let's quickly check this out. This is a clip taken from the No Jumper subreddit regarding BLAZZY, talking about what happened with them all leaving No Jumper. The whole No Jumper stuff has been fucking interesting to watch from afar, man. I absolutely loved it. But let's check out this clip here where BLAZZY essentially gives his ideas and thinkings and insights into what happened, how it went down. He's got some very interesting comments to make here. Let's play this clip.
Everything just felt like it was going to go to the moon. All right, let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
In your heart, when did you think it was the peak? Everything just felt like it was going to go to the moon. Because I have my answer.
When I thought the Christmas party, not the one that we just recently happened, but the last one.
Oh, I didn't get invited to that one.
When we got the when we got the Dickies jacket?
Nah, I was just like a week or two in. We weren't even sure disconnected was gonna be a thing.
So maybe what was your, okay? Maybe I have another one.
I think maybe like the second live show. I like
the Novo.
Yes, I had told Adam to the side. I'm like, bruh, you know you got something that no one else in this room was like. No, man, no, and I just feel so grateful to have you on part of my team. And
then,
you know what's
it was real, yeah. And then for sure,
you know what's funny about No Jumper? That's interesting. Those live show vlogs were really cool when you got to see them sell out all these venues that they were going around the States, you know, doing them going out in the streets and having random people pull up to them and want to take pictures and shit, have stuff signed and just, you know, talk shop and whatnot. It was pretty cool to see. Like, they've all got fan bases, you know, they carry, you know, they essentially spread the word of No Jumper all across America and wherever they were going. And you're like, rah, they've got a little flipping movement going on, you know, a little movement going on. And then somehow Adam 22 just wanted to just fuck that up. Like, I'm still to this day surprised of how quickly everything essentially crumbled, and it was mostly due to Adam's inability to just take some accountability, to maybe act like a bit more like a boss, to maybe, you know, outsource certain things that he probably couldn't do, or whatever, just conflict resolution, whatever it may be. He just couldn't get it figured out. I don't know why. I really don't know why. What a weird guy, man.
Sure, bro. It's insane. I mean, because like my whole thing is like, you know, I only came onto it just to have fun. You feel me? Like, I already had my bills paid. I already been doing my thing. I was already working for fucking the GOATs and shit at this point. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Lacoste, like Nike and all that.
Yeah. For your collabing with the greatest.
Yeah. So I had only seen it as like outlet for me to express myself, maybe sell some products on there, but also kind of just have fun. You know, I'd watched House Phone for years. I was a fan of him before I even met this fool, you know? So like when he brought me onto the team, I was like, let's fucking do this. And when shit just looked a little rocky, shit, I told him like, bro, I'm finna dip. I don't know what, you know, like he ended up figuring it out, but like, you know, we had a long conversation. And then I think that Thursday had happened, bro.
So I think this is information that people didn't know so far. Now we're finding out that BLAZZY is the one that told House Phone to leave. House Phone didn't actually want to leave after, you know, Adam decided to air that interview with that person who basically aired out House Phone's business. He actually told him to leave. That's pretty cool. That is a good mark of a friend, actually. And then he followed him as soon as House Phone did leave. That's pretty cool,
bro. Where we do that show, and I didn't pull up. You know, I woke up in Vegas. And I was like, telling my girl, like, you know, do I really even want to go to this shit? Like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? House Phone's not going to be there. They just fired Pot Lord. Adam's in the chat talking crazy. You feel me?
It was such
at that point, I already mentally checked out. And I was like, I'm not pulling no. I'm going to stay in Vegas. I'm having fun. Right? And then it's like 9 p.m. And it occurred to me, I'm like, you know what? Adam eventually is going to fire me.
And I prefer quitting. I heard this.
Adam's eventually gonna fire me. I had to make the mental decision of quit before he could play with that narrative and take that shit to the fucking bank. Oh, BLAZZY was gonna get fired for months and months, or he could have, you know. And like I saw it coming. You know what I mean?
Is there nothing better feeling in a workplace than being able to quit a shitty job before you get fired? I've only had the benefit of doing it once in my life. And it felt so good. It felt so good leaving a crappy place and going somewhere else better. Like deciding of, you know, of your own regard, not being pushed out the door, nothing. And you leave. It feels so sweet. Probably the only feeling sweeter than that is leaving before you know you're going to get fired. Like you know, you get them before they get you. That's probably another really good feeling. But I've only had it once in my life in a workplace of being able to leave before, you know, or leave somewhere that you legitimately thought was absolutely horrible. I think that's an awesome thing to check out. So big up BLAZZY for that one. And then we got another clip here that I want to play, courtesy again, I think, from that sub regarding Yuri and Riley. This is one that I'm happy someone clipped. This features BLAZZY talking about the Yuri and Riley situation. And he's got a very interesting perspective and something that I can definitely agree with, regarding whether or not Yuri should have left No Jumper because Riley, his girlfriend, got fired from No Jumper.
But yeah, I'll never judge Yuri for like for trying to get money, because like I mean, the Riley situation, I ain't finna speak on that. That's deeper. That's deeper than
That's
house
deep.
phone.
That's deep. That's deep. Is it deeper than house phone? I don't think it's
It's
deeper.
way deeper with house phone, bro. You're sleeping. I'm not even gonna get into it because at the end of the day, these are my homies, and they're gonna handle what they need to handle. But like, you know, it's okay not to like things that your friends do, and you could still be friends with them. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I would be working at like the lecture company or something like that. You feel me? If they
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a big issue with Yuri. So to give you a bit of background, Yuri and Riley were two people that worked at No Jumper. I think Riley, his girlfriend, what was she doing? She was doing some sort of behind the scenes camera shit or whatever it may be called, production. And then somewhere along the line, Adam22 decided to fire his girlfriend for valid reasons. Maybe they couldn't, balance the books. But the way it was done was pretty crazy, because I think the week before she got fired, she wanted to leave or to get another job, another side job doing hairdressing. And they said to her, no, don't get the other job to do hairdressing, whatever it may be, or hairstyling. Stay here in No Jumper. We're going to give you a raise. So they gave her a raise, I think the week before she got fired, to make her not get a second job so she could just focus on No Jumper. And then, of course, in the following week, that's when all the drama happens with Lush and AD and everyone beefing. And then everyone leaves, and then that means that they're not doing as many shows and they're not getting as many streams or views because all the big characters are gone, and that impacted her position. And in the following week, they had to fire her. So if you work in the same company with somebody, if you're a couple and one couple gets fired under some very strenuous circumstances, you would probably have to leave just on principle. If it was a firing where your partner deserved to get fired because they weren't doing their job well, then fair enough. They have to take it on the chin. But I think if your partner got fired, in a really scummy way, you have to ride out with your partner. You just have to ride it and say, you know what, I'll go grab a job at a local deli or wherever it may be to hold shit down. Whatever it may be done, I might have to go panhandle. Whatever you're doing, do what needs to be done. But I think the idea of staying somewhere where your partner got fired is a little bit much, personally for me. I think it's a little bit much, but everyone's got different types of threshold and different type of things. I mean, Tashki, who are these people? This is No Jumper stuff. It's another. No, this is No Jumper. It's a channel, hip hop based channel from LA, where they usually highlight loads of up and coming artists and stuff in the whole hip hop scene. But now it's kind of evolved into like a lifestyle type of channel where they talk about hip hop adjacent culture news, the type of stuff that I talk about, and they've got different characters and whatnot. It's an interesting world. You can kind of get into it if you want to. It's a channel. It's called No Jumper. Check it out if you want to. But it's a little bit up and down. But it's sort of shit that I'm into that probably doesn't make any sense and it's fucking boring. But I thought I'd cover it anyway. But it's out there if you want to check it out. It's called No Jumper. Do check it out. So let's watch a little bit of this to end. We'll see how long I can fucking bear watching a little bit of The Fire and the Kid. This is a recent episode number 888. So if you're not interested in this, then I'd recommend you X out if you don't want to hear fucking Brendan and Bryan pretend to be friends for an hour and a half. But let's double check this and see what the vibe is saying with Dish. Let's check this out. Episode number 888 with these guys. Let's see what the vibe is. I need to skip all this fucking intro music too, don't I? Okay, come on, load. There it is. It's coming. It's coming. Cool. Let's do this.
We're going to do a podcast once again for the 1000th time. And I'll tell you something. We always find something to talk about. Today, I looked at you and I went, my mind's a blank.
Before we aired, you went, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Now, let's just be real clear. You're an hour late, right?
Well, let's not get...
You're an hour late.
I'm an hour late.
We're supposed to start at 11:30,
and
12:30.
I forgot to charge my Tesla.
No,
and you...
Would you admit that? If you're like 60 years old and you've been doing a podcast that's now within the 888 numbers, would you admit, oh, his fucking feet, man, fucking hell. He's got his toe holds back on again, innit? Oh, for fuck's sake. He's got his fucking toe holds back on again. Jesus Christ, I thought he de-invested in the brand. I thought he was too busy hanging around with fucking Crowder, and now suddenly he's got his fucking toe holds back on again. This is maximum effort, innit? Maximum effort podcasting. Don't charge your phone. Don't charge your Tesla the night before. Grab your fucking lucky toe holds and slap those on your feet, unmoisturized, and hop onto a flipping podcast wearing the t-shirt you're probably in bed with. With his pajamas on. They look like pajamas. Look how they got drawstrings on his pants. He's got his pajamas on there. He's got some breakfast stains on his pants, like a fucking mess. This guy's got 3 children, an ex-wife, a new wife, 2 homes, a career. Look at him. Little boy's t-shirt on, pants. Like, look at that.
Called my car, and I'm gonna say it. You called my car.
This is another. This is another. No, that's just a term.
Well,
it doesn't mean that car likes the same sex.
I see.
It just means
is the word we used to use for things where it should be. Yeah, it should be. It shouldn't be used.
Oh, they're bleeping out the word gay. Okay, cool. That's the edgy thing. And Brendan's well with these sleeve. This is a particular type of person who likes to wear, like, I don't understand why you'd want to wear a sleeveless hoodie. Truly. Like, why would you want a hoodie that's got no sleeves on it? The whole point of a hoodie is that it's cozy. Put your hood up, the sleeves, you put your hands in it sometimes. You know, you put your hands in your sleeves of the, you know, like that. Like, it's meant to be cozy. Why would you want a hoodie with no sleeves on it? It's such a bizarre piece of clothing. Like, where are you going? You going to the gym? You going to the club? You going to Sweet Greens or whatever? You going to some shop somewhere? Like, where are you going with that?
Just for men who like men or women who like women, it should be used for, it's a car.
Yeah, it's just like, it means
lame.
it's not cool.
It's lame.
Yeah. Which doesn't mean being not cool.
That's right. I love how we've become so
Oh, I love the disclaimer.
woke.
Well, you definitely have, which is bumming me out. But you sent me that video of you not charging your Tesla, or
I had to charge my Tesla.
No, but that's a reason 1,000 why you shouldn't buy a Tesla.
It does take
I've never got
longer
my
than
car and
gas.
we're like, oh man, it's not going to make it there because I didn't charge it.
Well,
how stupid is that?
I had to precondition the battery. You put in where you want to go, and then you go to the charging station.
Oh, because you don't have one at the house?
And I waited. I took, because I knew I was going to be late, and it was going to take me. I could have been here at 11:30. I could have risked it, but then I would have been at 5% battery, and I would have had to find a place. It gets dicey because now you got a giant paperweight. You got a paperweight.
Is there like a AAA you call to charge it for you?
There's not. You got to have.
There's no like
towed to the charging.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not doing that.
Nightmare.
And by the way, when it hits 0, we hit 0. It's not like with.
I push it. When that,
yeah. Well, yeah.
My mama taught me that. When that thing turns yellow,
push
you gotta
it.
At least 50 more miles, man. Well, so Toyota Camry, a 97 Toyota Camry, when that thing hits yellow, you're like, bitch, please.
My wife was like, we need gas. I go, what do you mean? It was like just below.
Interesting. He's changed from saying my girl to my wife now. I wonder if she had a little chat with him at home, because I always find that a bit weird that both of these guys are married. They both got children. They're both over the age of 30. And they keep referring to their actual wives, the people that look after their homes and their children, as my girl. As if she's some like flousy that you met at some comedy bar or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the mothers of your children. My girl. Weird. So maybe Mrs. Callen had a word and said, hey, refer to me by my name or call me what I am. Right?
A quarter.
There's two types of people in this world.
That'll keep me forever.
Yeah, there's two type of people in this world. The people where it gets past the halfway mark, like we better fill up.
I can't.
And then there's the risk takers, like your boy here.
Yep.
Where that thing, even at yellow, I'm like, nah.
What's that? Severe Design says, Debate Club, being a fatty or having cauliflower ear. Of course, take the cauliflower ear all day long. Come on, man. Look, me and fatness, it doesn't go. I've got too many trendy clothes. You know, every time I walk past a window that's got a slight mirror, I look at myself in it. Like, you know, let's be real, you know, I care about that shit. So I take cauliflower ear. I'll take that all day long. I'll just cover it with an afro or something. Or when I go Turkey to get my fake teeth, I'll get that taken care of.
Pushing it.
Nah, I pushed it hard.
My favorite is when I ask you if you brush your teeth at night and you go, excuse me? Never. And I'm the same way.
Never.
I'm not brushing my.
Never.
It's enough. I gotta brush them in the morning.
Well, every now and then,
if I'm gonna make
every
some
now and then I
love.
jump in bed, and I'll go to kiss Joan. She's like, "Your breath smells like dick." I'm like, "It does." She goes, "Did you brush your teeth?" I'll go, "Yeah." She goes, "No, you didn't." Now I got to get out of bed and brush
Same
them.
thing happened to me.
I use mouthwash.
She goes, well, your breath smells like an open grave.
And then she'll
I was
go,
like,
"Is it-" then Joanne goes, "Isn't this nice?" I'm like, "Nah, I just don't like it. I'm not the guy."
How's it something to brag about? Look at how effeminate, not even effeminate. Look how like old lady his flipping feet look. Look at that. Like, does he ever go in the sun? Does he ever like get some sun on him whatsoever? Like, what is this? What is this? What is this fleshy color on him? Why does he look like this? With these pajama bottoms, like look at these little baby pajama bottoms, the little elasticated cuffs, like strange. But bragging that you don't brush your teeth is a strange thing to brag about. Very, very strange thing to brag about. Really, really strange.
Now in the morning you have to.
Of course you have to.
When you're sleeping, that makes
There's
sense.
something about that I resent about it. So I know a guy who he's got great skin, and we were joking with him. We go, "You got great skin." He directs Best Of, and funny as shit, everything else. And he's a guy played lacrosse in college. I go, "You got great skin." He goes, "I got a whole routine."
Oh.
And I go,
"Gay, right?"
Hold up and rewind. What do you mean? He goes, "I got a whole thing for my teeth and my face. I have creams." I go,
It might be an OCD thing.
well, or it's
Gay, yeah.
Okay.
Or you're like,
So if you like to look after yourself, like to take care of yourself, like to clean, like to brush your teeth, have, a decent personal hygiene regimen, routine, OCD, or you're gay. Make sense?
or he's like, "Oh, yeah, I suck dick, dude." You're like, "Oh," then you can't say anything.
He's got a very hot girlfriend. His girlfriend's a 10.
Sure.
The reason I know my boy isn't gay is because he's hilarious because we're in Boston and
even if he is, all good, baby.
I know, but I know
now you're trying to cover ground.
Here's why you know he's not gay. The waiter comes over, the handsome guy, and the guy
goes, "Hot."
and he goes, "Is that guy gorgeous or what?" And he goes, and he's like, and he's just like me. I go, "Oh, you're gay." He goes, "I'm very gay." I go, "Me too." And so we were talking about how gorgeous he was. We were asking,
How old do you have to be to have this type of conversation? Like, when does this stuff get boring? When does it get boring to have these conversations with people? Like, who are their friends? This is why sometimes I think I don't commentate on this stuff the best, because I think this is a different world. We're not meant to understand this world. This is not the same world that we're living in. They live in a completely different planet where 60-year-olds with 3 kids are sitting around talking about hot waiters. Like, I wonder how big his dick is. I wonder how, like, what is all this stuff about? Like, what kind of conversations are this? Surely there's other points of conversation. Surely there's other points of interest, curiosity, whatever, that you can talk about, as opposed to like hot bartender guy, hot waiter woman. Like,
I got questions about his symmetry.
Yeah, see, Brian, this isn't helping your friend here. That definitely, because I joke around, with the best of them when it comes to being gay.
He and I did
we
fuck
joke
afterwards.
around, but I don't say ever in my life that guy's gorgeous, because that's sincere, right? That's sincere.
You're gay.
I'll go,
hold on. How do you say sincere?
in my life that guy's gorgeous, because that's sincere, right?
Sincere.
Don't say ever in my life that guy's gorgeous, because that's sincere, right? That's sincere.
You're gay.
I'll go,
Sincere. Sensei. Okay. Sensei. That's sensei.
oh, I'm gay. If I see a handsome, I'm like, man, that dude is.
Not only are you that, no, you have hired personal trainers
Oh yeah.
because you like the way they look and they're men. Because you like to feast your eyes on them, and I know that's a fact.
No, what personal? Most like
there was a guy you
Ben
said.
Bruno, Lauren Landau.
No, there was another guy you
None
had
of
for
them
a
are-
while.
BGL?
During a
There's
beauty
another guy
pageant.
you had for a while, and he was
Which
really
one?
good looking, and you said, and I looked him up, I went, got Kid's a looker, and you said, I 50% of the reason I hire him is because I enjoy looking at him.
Hey, B, I think that's your gay director.
No, it's not.
That's never happened with me.
It has happened.
I've only had ugly trainers.
That's not true. You had a very
Name a
hot
good look-
trainer.
when?
He was a small window. I remember you said, I
No, because
very much enjoy
I've only had,
he brightens my day.
I've only had 3 trainers. I've never said, I don't
You said,
use that.
He brightens
I
my
don't use
day.
that lingo.
You said I sucked his cock, and you said that he's my type.
Dude, see, you're getting older, right? Dementia a little bit, and that's your producer of that show, right? You know this.
Like I said, I have nothing to talk about today. Now
we didn't get to talk about it because Jay Larson was in. And you never know if the guy's into the fight business.
Yeah.
But over the weekend, they announced Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. This is my question for you. This is for everybody in the room, you included, Chin. You know the fight game second best in here, then George, then Bryan. Okay, be cool.
Right.
Who has more pressure on them in this fight, Nate Diaz or Jake Paul? Now let me paint the picture before you answer.
I'll tell you right now.
Let me paint the picture because I think most people assume who it is. But let me.
So ask someone a question, but then before they answer the question, you have to paint the picture. Right? You have to paint, not paint. You have to paint the picture. So you have to wait for him to blubber on for what, 2-3 minutes. Remember what the question is. Remember what the picture that he painted was, and then answer the question, and then he will still interrupt you. Cool, makes sense.
I mean, just argue for both sides. For Jake Paul, you lose again. This journey's probably over. A lot of pressure. You lose this time. You're looking for a validation. This is the first. I mean, Anderson Silva, legend, different, right? Older. Yeah. Nate Diaz isn't that old, right? Yeah. Nate Diaz not that old. Now he's at the tail end of his career, but he's still a badass. Nate Diaz is respected by everybody in the community. He is a representative of mixed martial arts to the fullest. Like he's basically like he's a legend now. Mm-hmm. He's a street legend, and he plays no games. No. So the argument where Jake Paul's fights are fixed or these guys are taking a fall, that narrow's out the window now. And that argument doesn't work anymore
because Paul's fights are not fixed.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying
is all this hype and pomp and whatever it may be and thing that he's putting on the fight a bit over the top. The Nate Diaz v flipping Jake Paul. It's not that make or break. Why is he making it seem as if Jake Paul loses this, he can never box again? It's like, obviously it would be advantageous if he won, coming off the back of the loss against Tommy Fury, but it's not make or break in the slightest. Like, it's not that deep. They're just gonna make some money, throw some hands, put on a good show. Maybe, or am I not plugged in enough? Maybe I'm too much of a casual.
People that you would use that narrative, right? When
he's literally wearing pajamas.
His fights are not.
Look, he's got his son's t-shirt on. Bryan Callen's got his son's t-shirt on.
Fixed.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying,
literally wearing pajamas. Like, he's so small. He's like a. He's like a little child. Like, he's legitimately like a little child. Now he explains why he does the whole man-spreading thing, why he's always talking about male physicality and form and size. He literally must walk around feeling so inadequate, innit? Next to this big dude, right? Like, every day just...
The people that you would use that narrative, right? When the hate doesn't work, they start to lie.
Yeah, I'm not exactly...
So it's, the hate didn't work, he got too big, made 40
That was a little dig at freaking BGL.
million off one fight. So they're like, well, they're fixed, right? That was the next thing. Well, these fights are fixed. Okay. Well, now the narrative, we know that Nate Diaz, there's not an amount of money on this earth that you could offer any Diaz brother where they're going to take a fall. It's not in their DNA. They do not play that game. If you ask them for that, trust me, they get on Twitter and out your ass so fast. So we know that's not fake. So now for Jake, the pressure's on because now you're fighting a real...
I like how he's not trying to suck the Diaz's dicks when we all know that he lied and said that they didn't get into confrontation, said that he didn't say something to Nate. Then the video comes out where he does say something back to him, didn't want to admit it. I love how he does this all the time. He always throws stones at people, hides their hands, and then pretends they're all friends. Funny dude.
Real one. You're fighting a real one who's not going to play your antics.
Fighting a real one.
You go to grab his hat, he's going to beat you up. You go to push him, he's going to beat you up. You go to get in his face at the press conference, he's gonna slap you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a real dude. He's a real dude who's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat this kid up.
Yeah.
It's 8 rounds, right? And he's coming off a loss.
This is, by the way, he's asking him a question. He's asking him, this is meant to be a question. This is why fucking Food Truck Diaries is so terrible. This is meant to be a question.
Where the loss, I think, showed us that maybe Jake's not as far as long as we thought. He fought a real boxer. We saw he only has a right hand right now. With Anderson Silva, the whole narrative was older. It's the best Jake's ever looked, but it's still older Anderson Silva. He did, get wobbled and come to, pop back up. Anderson, he rocked him, but he won in decision. So we knew Jake's gas tank isn't bad like we thought before. We thought maybe there's a little fragile there. We know it's good. So there's pressure on Jake there because you lose this one, you can still beat up the KSI.
He's still going. This is a question. Remember, this is meant to be a question. Rinks is already getting tired. Papa Callen is ready, wants to sleep.
Size of the world, you can fight the YouTubers, but as far as fighting legit guys, that window's probably closed.
Yeah, a little bit. But now, unless he trains.
It's closed.
More.
It's closed. Yeah, it's just gone. People they're done with it when you keep losing like this. So there's that pressure. Loser goes home. For Nate, though.
When you keep losing like this, isn't this Jake Paul's first loss? How many fights has Jake Paul lost? 1, isn't it? Against Tommy Fury. Losing like this.
Oh. You're bona fide UFC first ballot Hall of Famer. You've, as legit as it goes, you are a guy's guy. You are the street legend. You do not lose to a YouTuber. You lose to him, all credit goes out the window.
Oh, I see what he's doing. He's trying to do that thing where he's trying to act like it's that big of a fight, because if it does transpire that Jake Paul knocks out Nate Diaz, he can then dunk on him, because he's always kind of had a thing against Nate because of that interaction he had behind the scenes that one time at that UFC event, right? Let's see if I can get it up actually here. That's basically why he's doing this. Brendan Schaub, Nate Diaz. So he wants to kind of set it up. So if Jake does knock out Nate, he can then come back and start trying to say something. So let's see this clip. This is this one, right? Nate Diaz in full backstage altercation, new footage. That one time when Nate Diaz and Brendan Schaub got into a beef.
Fucking ass, people. Remember your career? Pussy. Fuck you.
Too right, Nate.
No, I'm doing it. Don't. I disagree. Hey, wait, you didn't win 4 rounds? You didn't win 4 rounds? What rounds? You didn't know it?
Hold on, what does it say? Nate says to Brendan Schaub, Conor got the rounds that Mayweather didn't even try. That wasn't even trying. Until he started to turn it in, then he won. Brendan then leans in a little bit, like get into his face, like what? He's looking at him like what? Checking his temperature. It's all good though. It's just your lack of knowledge. So Nate ups it, because Nate's from the hood. He knows what time it is. He ups it. What were you on? It's all good though. It's just a lack of knowledge. Look at the journalist. Brendan then gives him a tap, like to sun him a bit. Yes, but I didn't see you. He teed off on you.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Nate looks up. He points his finger at him at his phone and says, I know something. What? Fuck you. Look at Brendan trying to be like the gentleman. Nate, I have no problem with you. When someone does this, fuck you. Brendan's hilarious. I have no problem with you. He still says the same stuff in it. It's so weird. Yo, I think you're a bitch. What did Brendan say there? I think you're a bitch. Nate Diaz, yeah, well, I think you're a bitch.
Fucking ass, people.
Fucking asshole. Remember your career, pussy.
Pussy. Fuck you.
Nate, fuck you.
Tell you what, Nate.
Headless snapping back. He changed his game plan 3 times. He came outside the box. He got 8 with a left hand. Then he went against the ropes like he used.
Oh, that was good, man. That was a good time. Big up Nate Diaz. So I think Brendan is being clever and trying to pretend like this is such a big fight and so make or break, so that if Jake does end up flatlining Nate Diaz, he can kind of dunk on him and get his lick back all these years back. So he's really kind of a bit of a hater. Brendan's an undercover hater and he holds grudges for sure.
But I think this is kudos to Jake. Nate wouldn't have took this fight if he didn't respect Jake. So it shows, even though I'm sure the majority of the Nate fan base, like, fuck this YouTuber or whatever.
What?
If they're real Nate fans, they would know the Diaz brothers would not sign on for a fight.
He's signing because it's money. Well, it's nothing to do with respect. I don't think this is hilarious, man.
Unless they respected the guy. Nate respects Connor. He respects Leon Edwards. He respects Jake Paul. That's kudos to Jake Paul. But Nate's I think his entire kind of street credit, tough guy, fight you anywhere, anytime, that's on the line. I think there's more pressure on Nate to represent MMA and what he's done with his legacy than there is for Jake. Thoughts?
A grown man, like, capping this much for a fucking 20-year-old is kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to lie, man. They're not even that great of a friends. Has Jake Paul ever been on The Fighter and the Kid? I don't think so. He's interviewed him a couple of times for Showtime and whatnot when he's been on there. But this kind of like, this is too much. This is just too much. But again, fame does weird things to you, man.
My thoughts are.
Do you like the breakdown?
I like the breakdown very much. There are 2 reasons I think the pressure is more on Jake. Youth, and the fact that
he's the favorite.
He's bigger.
He's the favorite.
Yeah.
It's at it's at 185.
Yeah, and he's in, like now.
Nate'll be taller.
It's important to know Nate's 6'1". Everybody's 6'1" and about 190. When I hung out with him, I was taken by how much larger he.
Okay, I'm not going to hear him talk about men anymore. I've tapped out. Only 10 minutes in. It's fucking annoying. Let's see the clip here to end it. Let's look at The Fighter and the Kid. I want to play that new Redacted War, actually. I think it's here. Have I got it? No, I don't have it available. Let's pull it up, actually. The new Redacted War just dropped, fresh off the streets. I haven't watched it yet, so I want to watch it in full with you, lovely viewers. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Come on, work. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Redacted War 2. Oh, this is the Gadooshing. Okay, cool. Let's check this out. The Gadooshing at Fort Glass. What an epic fucking name. I love this. Let's check this out. I think it's by the same person. Was it Lavoy or something? Laverne? Who's it by? Levon TR on the Final Kid subreddit. So big up Levon TR for putting this together. The Redacted War episode 2, the roommate Gadushin. Oh, this should be good. This should be good. Let's get up on the screen here. Bear with me a second as I put it up. The Redacted War. Let's check this one out. The Redacted War.
In the cold winter of 2003, tensions were growing between tent mates at the Colorado military outpost. The ensuing battle would be responsible for the homelessness of untold...
Oh yeah, by the way, did anybody find out what happened with Sean McCorkle, that UFC guy, MMA dude? He said he reached out to the dude who Brendan gadooshed through the window. And he's meant to get him on his podcast, ask him questions. I wonder what happened to that. Maybe he hasn't followed up on it, but I remember he said he did reach out to the dude.
Told thousands. Lieutenant Dan writes home to his family about the mounting tensions.
My dearest mother, oh, how I miss you. I received your biscuits, and they remind me of home. Brendan's been eating my rations again. I don't think it's an accident. Dispute over parking continues. I strive to be the noble man you raised me to be, but I fear that confrontation is inevitable. Your loving son, Daniel. P.S. Give my sister a kiss from me.
Meanwhile, a messenger also delivered news from Brendan to his family.
What up, Jay? Roommate's still a bitch. Think I'm gonna eat his food and trash his stuff for fun. Maybe spit in his face and see where that goes. Oh yeah, and I told his mom to fuck off. It was hilarious. I'm a good storyteller. Later, bro. P.S. Keep my comic shop open.
Then, one cold, fateful night, tensions came to a head. Brendan blamed Dan for the work of vandals and declared battle. The first maneuver was to remove his shirt.
Wow.
Followed quickly by an artillery volley of saliva. Dan hesitated to take up a defensive posture, and by the time Brendan's charge reached him, little could be done.
Oh no. This is so good.
Gadooshed through a glass door. The battle was over before Dan fired a shot. To make matters worse, Brendan went on to spin the narrative in his favor, slandering Dan's good name, sending Dan on a wounded retreat home. Though he may never know, thousands have been defending his honor for years, drawing attention to Brendan's many misdeeds.
Homeless cats. Wow, 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 wow. Honestly, big up Levon and the Mexican. That's absolutely amazing. Oh, so good. I don't think it's been out too long, Severe Design. I think it's been out maybe a couple of days, it looks like, by the looks of it. But yeah, this guy's absolutely... Actually, is it continuing? It's still a couple of bits more left. Let's see.
Still to come in the redacted war.
Wow, he's doing different parts, different stories.
Thunderbird in the backyard.
Oh, wow, Chin.
It flew into a wall.
Oh, no.
I'm Granite Galena.
The Chin Next story. I can't wait for that one. I can't wait for that one. The Chin Next story. I can't wait for that one.
I need a new wall. I need a new wall.
Hi, Shane.
Amazing. Hi, Shane. Oh, brilliant, man. Big up Levon. Big up Levon TR and everybody else contributed to that bloody amazing little video, man. So good. But yeah, anyways, it is close to 5 a.m. here in the UK, so I shall leave you, my lovely watchers. This has been the Random Show episode number 103. Thank you so much for tuning in. Random Show episode number 103. It's been a pleasure to have your company as per usual. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, please make sure you leave me a little thumbs up down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, man, it's been good. It's been fun. If you want to listen to the podcast side of things, the audio will be up tomorrow. I'll have that uploaded for you guys, so if you can listen to it on that side, feel free. It's available on Spotify and Apple and stuff. If you want to listen to the audio only, do that. Feel free to do that. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys again very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to chat. Big up everybody in the stream. Appreciate all of yous, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace out, my friends.